Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Nature Check, the show where you come for the game and stay for the science and the scientists. As always, we do introductions first. Hi, I'm Sheryl. I'm the Dungeon Master for Nature Check. I'm also a PhD student studying ecology at the University of Illinois at Chicago. And when I'm not doing ecological research, I'm a science communicator and the host of the Roving Naturalist on YouTube. Next, we've got Joe.
Hi, I'm Joe Ballinger. I am a PhD student at the University of Wyoming, and I am currently trying to figure out why weeds hurt crops.
Stellar. And you play?
I am Lucanus, our resident barbarian.
Marvelous. Next, we've got Ryan.
I am Ryan, as Sheryl said. I am an entomologist in Pittsburgh. I do integrated pest management and plant health care in a public conservatory / botanical garden. So that means looking at all the interconnected ways and various aspects that affect plant health, from pests to site conditions to nutrition to all of those kinds of things. Besides that, do a lot of social media. I do some science policy stuff through the Science Policy Fellowship of our Entomological Society, and I am not a research scientist, and I try to help people going through graduate degrees who don't want to be in research and don't know how to get out of academia and get new jobs. So I do talks and try to do workshops and all kinds of things to show people how to do resumes and cover letters and all those kinds of things that are for, you are not trying to get a postdoc. And that's currently a growing passion of mine, is helping people with that.
And an important mission. And you play?
Oh, and I am Fletcher Sampson, the human wizard.
Marvelous. Next, we've got Peter.
I'm an entomologist in Maryland with the University of Maryland Extension, and I do small farms and alternative agriculture practices, including sustainable agriculture, alternative crops like hemp and hops, and farm business management, consulting, like that kind of thing, for people who are looking to grow crops in Maryland. And then in my free time, I take pictures of bugs. And I play
And they're beautiful.
Cedric.
Hey, somebody got it. Awesome.
The dwarf cleric.
Marvelous.
Of Moradin.
Oh, we know. And then we've got Nancy.
Hi everybody, my name is Nancy. I am an entomologist living in Quito, Ecuador. I haven't been in my house for 2 months, so where do I live really? I'm always busy and traveling because I have my own ecotourism business where I take you around the jungle to show you the amazing insects and other things that live there, like lizards and sometimes mammals. I play Kay, who is a rogue and human-ish.
Okay.
Mysterious.
And and if you haven't seen it yet, I posted a video on my YouTube channel this week where I did an interview with Nancy, and it was really good, so you should go check it out.
It's because Cheryl's a good interviewer. She asks fun questions.
Also because Nancy's just really good at talking about what she does. No, you stop. Anyway. If you're watching Nature Check right now live on Twitch or Periscope, first of all, thank you for being here. We really hope you'll enjoy what you're going to see this evening. And secondly, if you have any questions for the cast, as always, please put your questions in the chat on Twitch or Periscope, and I'll do my best to catch them. Or you can tag one of our mods, like VronVZ. Veronica is already in the chat this evening, so pass your questions. Pass your questions along to Veronica, and they will make their way to me, hopefully.
Veronica's great. She got my art tattooed on her leg.
Yeah. And it's good art. And that leads me into our last bit of housekeeping, the socials. You can find Nature Check on Twitter at @CheckNature, so follow us there for updates and the game schedule. And please subscribe or follow or whatever to Nature Check both here on Twitch and on YouTube. Did you know if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you get 1 free subscription to any channel on Twitch? 1 free subscription. If you're not using it already because you didn't know it existed, think about subscribing to us. Subs and follows really help the channel grow, and we appreciate you. We appreciate you regardless, but it would be cool. The YouTube channel is important because all of our game session videos will be uploaded to the channel, and you can also find our after show recaps, our nature chats, and all of our extra things on the YouTube channel as well. You can also access our game and all of those extra things everywhere you find podcasts, so give us a listen and share us with your friends and your enemies. And you can find all of the social media information for tonight's players down in the reference section below.
And your frenemies.
Yeah, and your frenemies. And don't forget that we've started adding video game content to our offerings here on Twitch, and we've got plans for more diverse kinds of content in the future, some of them more delicious than others. On some Wednesday afternoons, I will be playing a variety of things, and I think some of our other cast members are planning on joining in as well on other days. You can find the complete schedule of who will be playing what when in the panels below our Twitch stream. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to plug? I feel like the announcements keep getting longer.
Let's do it!
Let's do it! Let's do it.
Do it.
Civilizations grew, flourished, and fell on the continents of Lacedes for hundreds of years. But in the year 885, everything changed. Where once the gods of the pantheon held sway over various continents and made their presence known in frequent and tangible ways to mortals, now a dread silence and emptiness reigned. Civilizations fell into internal turmoil, and tensions mounted between empires. The faiths of nations were shaken, and new versions of old religions began to sprout. Spells once commonplace and relied upon, those that required the gods' particular attentions, no longer functioned. Access to and contact with all other planes disappeared or seemed blocked. The continent of Arda, still colloquially known as the God's Garden, was once the sacred and protected realm of Obadhai and Ilana. At the moment of the loss, the strong protective spells surrounding the continent fell, and the shores and interior became accessible to any who wished entry on whatever business. In 952, a ship from the Tenebrian Navy took shelter in the large river mouth at the southeastern corner of Arda, and the sailors erected a small fort for protection. Over the years, the fort grew into a town, and the town grew into a small city. While Tenebria officially holds no claim over Arda, or outside nation has yet claimed dominion over the continent, New Sechester is, for all intents and purposes, a Tenebrian colony. In the spring of 972, 4 young people from different lands encountered one another in New Sechester. Though their alliance was first formed out of necessity, curiosity, and coin, they have now come to trust and rely upon one another as they explore a strange new world. Fletcher, a human wizard trained at Iskul University in the Duin College of Arcane Arts, serves as the group's voice of reason. The consummate academic, Fletcher takes copious notes about everything they encounter in Arda, as he hopes to publish on his discoveries and make a name for himself. Cedric, a dwarven cleric, came to Arda to share the word of Moradin with anyone who would listen, and even with many who won't. Cedric's bright-eyed optimism is only ever momentarily balked when he encounters injustices, and though he commonly puts his foot in his mouth, he has established himself as a valuable member of the team nonetheless. Lucanus, an elfin barbarian, secured passage to Arda in order to escape degradation and slaughter in his homeland. Born before the loss, Lucanus has come of age in a world filled with turmoil, and his dark humor and penchant for combat reflect his experiences, yet he also has an open and caring side. Kay has grown up in New Sechester, raised by her adoptive parents. A roguish young woman, Kay's knowledge of the townsfolk and local geography have already helped the group navigate their first few days in a new land. But violence and adventure are new to Kay, and she's still learning how to take care of herself in the dangerous wilds of Arda. Frank, Fletcher, and Cedric enjoyed themselves during the festivities of New Sechester Day, but they also did a little digging into details and discovered that the Hidden Grove is the name of Wargent Johns's brothel. They ate some bread and some roasted meat, dangled their feet off the dock, and watched a military parade. Cedric and Fletcher Fletcher are a little concerned that Lucanus may have developed a drinking problem during the times they left him alone in the marked bird. However, they left him alone there again while they delivered the orc head in a bag and their warnings to Captain Carolyn Dawson Clark, the person in charge of the naval fort at the western edge of New Sechester. It is now about midday on Pelorum, the 7th day of Bloom Run, and the two of you are leaving the area of the naval fort and walking back through town.
Well, that went well, I think. I think we did our due diligence, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly glad to not have that head anymore, for one thing.
Yeah.
That was kind of becoming a burden.
Yeah, I mean, carrying it around everywhere was kind of a hassle, and I kept worrying that, like, the juices that were kind of soaking out the bottom were gonna, get on my shirt.
Get on your shirt, yeah,
mhm.
yeah.
Well,
Most things kind of do end up there.
yeah, well, it's in the middle of my body, so I feel like it's prime, anything that's gonna encounter me, it's what it's gonna hit, right? That's how physics work.
You're such a small target, though. I can't believe so much stuff hits you.
Yeah.
As Cedric is waving his arms around, gesturing about the targeting on his shirt, you wave your arm once, and all of a sudden it hits something solid, and things go flying in the air. Kay, your packages have just been disrupted.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry! I'm so sorry! I didn't see you there!
I mean, how could you? Your arms everywhere. Could you? Oh my god. All right, cool. Don't worry. I'll pick these up.
No,
Please don't touch them.
let me get them. Let me get them. I feel like this is a rom-com meet cute. We both grab for the same package at the same time, and our hands touch.
Like, pick up a couple of the things that fell by me, but like, I feel like we're both like extremely startled to for this to be how we refine K. That it's kind of like a lot of stammering.
Right.
Like, it's like, okay.
Don't worry, they're just potatoes. You can't really break them.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine. Good thing it wasn't glass, because that would have been terrible.
Okay,
But the
How are you? Are you
somehow
okay?
manage
The potatoes. Okay, they're fine. But like, okay, how are you though? The potatoes are fine, but you.
I mean, I slept a lot, I guess, and I'm just trying to, like, I'm not really sure. I'm just trying to, like, keep on keeping on, I guess, after everything.
We were really worried about you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's not that I'm not happy to see you. I think you're taking this the wrong way. I think, adventuring is hard. I don't think it's what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
Being stabbed and all.
That's
fair.
Yeah, it's not quite what I was expecting either, I'll admit.
So for now, because my parents run the general store and all, I do need to deliver these potatoes in like, less. They were supposed to be less damaged than they are now, but at least still I can deliver them without problem. But like, maybe I can catch up with you tonight in the Marked Bird. I feel like I kind of at least owe you like a conversation instead of disappear for a while. But can we talk later when I'm like not carrying potatoes?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean,
whatever. If that's what you're comfortable with, I.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll see you tonight.
Okay.
Bye.
You don't want any help with the potatoes?
Okay.
And just like pick up the potatoes and walk.
Yeah, there's a lot of packages we can help you.
That's okay.
Okay.
Thanks though.
Well, we'll see you later then.
Behind her.
And she power walks away.
We'll be.
Just fades in the distance.
Bye.
It's a specialty after all. It's just to like leave you guys without saying anything. And you're like, where does she live?
There's some
What are
music
we
playing.
doing now?
Yep, that's been our last 2 days. Where does she live? What should we do now?
He delivers the potatoes to like
Yeah.
wherever they're supposed to go.
Well,
And then I guess we finish. I mean, I guess we were heading back to the marked bird.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, that was. I felt really bad about knocking over her potatoes, but it was good to see she's okay.
Yeah, I kind of feel like if it weren't for that accident that just happened, she might have continued to avoid us.
You
I feel like she was avoiding us.
Do you think she's mad at us?
I feel like she's always mad at us.
But I mean, like, I didn't mean to do anything to make her mad. But I mean,
I
we
think
did
we just
get her
have to-
stabbed.
Yeah, I think we have to just let her figure out what she needs to figure out.
Yeah. Okay. That seems.
I feel like trying to help her would just make her more mad. If she doesn't ask for the help.
That seems fair. Okay. Well, I guess we'll just hang out, and maybe when she comes tonight, we could tell her that if she needs our help, we could help her.
Yeah, if she shows up.
Yeah. I
We'll
didn't think
see.
about that. I think it would hurt my feelings if
Oh,
she
boy.
didn't.
She did walk away as quickly as she could.
Yeah. But I mean, maybe she was just really busy.
A lot of potatoes.
Yeah. A lot of potatoes. So what is a potato?
Oh
By
my
the way.
God, no.
Okay, so the rest of the walk back to the marked bird I spend explaining potatoes.
I'm surprised that's one he didn't know, but okay.
Fun fact,
lived-
Ecuador has over
he's lived
300 varieties of
underground
potato.
so far. I would assume that like he had a pretty solid understanding of root vegetables.
I mean, yeah, they live underground like him.
That is so racist to just assume that because it's underground, I know about it. Dwarves don't live in the top 8 inches of soil where crops grow. Like, I live deep underground, in the roots of the mountain, in the feet of the mountain. Not like right under the
I just
freaking topsoil, like a bowl.
There were apples to you. You reached up to
Yeah.
get the potatoes.
see.
Oh,
I just kind of assumed that Cedric's people lived like naked mole rats,
Mm-hmm.
just kind of burrowing and finding whatever root vegetables they could.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
With like one single queen who reproduces and they never get
Yeah.
cancer.
Just communal burrows.
Hey,
Yeah.
if you live to be 300 years old, you
Wait,
better not
the
get
apple
cancer.
I mean, sure.
And they're
The-
impossible to suffocate too.
What? I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
naked mole rats have a really high tolerance to carbon dioxide because they live underground in huge, like heavily respirating naked mole rat colonies.
Those things just get cooler the more I learn about them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Anyway, the apple thing makes total sense. In is it French? They're pommes de terre, apples of the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nancy, you said something about potatoes that I think got lost in the shuffle.
Oh yeah, there's like over 300 varieties of potato in Ecuador.
Mhm.
Makes sense. They were
Because
You're
domesticated.
like, you're like the
Peru.
origin of potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not
mean-
convenient when I go to the market and I'm like, I want a potato, and they're like, which one? And I'm like, do they taste different? Like, really?
All of them.
It's like picking out
There's
paint
some that are
chips.
Wish I had potato choice.
Oh yeah, there's different potatoes. I live like right next to the epicenter of potatoes in like America. So I know
I live in the
potato
epicenter of
growers.
potatoes in
and we
America.
actually
Excuse me.
like potatoes are the one things that we like actually have varieties of here in Wyoming.
Sorry, Sheryl.
Yeah.
No, why are you apologizing? I just didn't expect the science to start so early. Hooray! Although Veronica says she's having terrible rat farm flashbacks because we're talking
Yeah,
about naked mole
see,
rats.
yeah, exactly. Thank you, Veronica. I don't know about potatoes because, as I explained last week, we subsisted completely on a closed circuit of rats and mushroom farming.
I believe you said something about getting herbs every once in a while because you told Bedware you liked sage rubbed rat. But now we're delving deep into the history of this 13 episode game. So Fletcher and Cedric make it back to the marked bird. Cedric now being a little bit wiser in the ways of root vegetables. Is there anything... This was not supposed to segue back to the rats, she says. Is there anything that you guys would like to do in the marked bird? Lucanus, is there anything you'd like to do?
So unbeknownst to Cedric and Fletcher, Lucanus is just passed the hell out in his room from alcohol.
Oh, so we don't even see you. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
I have a drinking
we'd probably
problem.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess. Well, so if we go upstairs and knock on his door, I'm guessing no response.
Yeah, no response.
Yeah.
And I guess we're just waiting.
Yeah, I mean,
Guess
maybe
I
you...
just go down back
now?
into the dining room, like at the bar.
You guys just want to hang out in the bar until 5 o'clock?
Get something to eat.
Okay. Yeah,
They really are lost without Kay.
pretty much. Yeah, alright, so you guys will hang out there until 5. Lucanus, would you give me a fortitude save?
And I'd say Cedric and I figured out a lot on our own.
I mean, yeah, you did great.
We got our way into the freaking like naval base and spoke to the captain.
So I would look up what kind of fortitude bonuses I have, but I rolled a 1.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Alright, yeah, you stay passed the hell out through the afternoon. So yeah, now it's about the time that Kay said she would be meeting you in the marked bird.
Has my mom like mentioned anything or said anything to me that I should know about?
She might have like mentioned that they came to the store looking for you, but
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well, Kay is like, should I show up? I don't really want to. I probably should. I did tell them. That's not really
Is
fair.
this like plucking petals off a flower to
yeah,
choose?
basically. And she's late, but she finally manages to like get out of bed and like slowly trudges to the marked bird.
Okay, so you enter. There's a few people, having an early dinner, including Cedric and Fletcher are in the dining area. Leon is, of course, running drinks and food and things around.
So I guess I unceremoniously walk up to the table and flop next to whoever happens to be within flopping distance.
As soon as Cedric sees you, he like really frantically waves, like a really big smile on his face. He's really excited to see you.
That's adorable.
Okay, I'm glad you made it.
Yeah, to be honest, I wasn't sure if I was gonna, but I'm
Yeah.
here.
Well, it's good to see you.
Thanks.
It's
actually good to see you guys too.
Lucanus suddenly stumbles down and joins the table. He's like, "Hey guys, look at this cool bug I found!" And he holds out his hand, and it's just lint.
Yeah, you are still you might have woken up, but you are still feeling very drunk.
No, I'm very
I figured you knew what that meant. Yeah.
hence the whole bug and no bug thing.
Whoa.
Oh. Well, I figured you were going to be upstairs still.
He reeks.
Oh, hey buddy, how's it going? You want some dinner?
Yeah.
You should eat something.
Yeah. Why don't we get some
Lucanus
stew
orders,
in you?
I don't. What's on the menu?
Why don't you head on up to the bar and I'll have Leon fix you up something. It's on me.
Yeah.
Oh well, he's paid for a month's room and whatever, so he gets his meals.
Oh,
But yeah,
room and board?
yeah.
Okay. Well, why don't
Yeah.
you head on up to the bar and have
Leon
Leon get you
stumbles up
something?
to the counter and he's like, "Hey, Leon, what's good?"
There's some stew. There's bread. There's some chicken. What would you like?
I'll have the chicken.
Okay. So he makes you up a plate of chicken and assorted side dishes and hands it over.
And Lucanus sort of stumbles back to the table, almost spilling it, but saving it, because he has that dexterity score. Or something.
Well,
I don't know. He's like sloppy drunk.
While he was... Oh, well, I had sent him away to get his food, so that while he was gone, we could try to, like, run through some stuff with Kay. Trying
Sure.
to not, like... It's like, knowing well, it's like, yeah, I'll probably have to tell him about these things, like, repeat myself tomorrow, but probably worth it, given his current state.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it takes a minute for Leon to get him a plate of whatever, so you've got a few minutes. Yeah.
So I try to just... I think so. Cedric and I try to fill in Kay on what are the couple big things, like the wanted poster that we found, which is why Lucanus has been having to like stay in the Mark Berg, because we didn't know how to like what would come of all of it, and what we found out about like that it was Virgin and all that, and what we did about the orcs with Captain Clark.
Yeah. And also, we went by the Adventurers Guild, and it's very nice looking. I mean, it's not open yet, but it's really nice.
Oh, well.
Oh, and there's their grand opening party is on the 11th, and Casper invited us all to attend.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But so that's really the only kind of thing we have scheduled. So we've got, it's the 7th now, so conceivably we have enough time to maybe go out. We were
4
Fletcher.
days.
Yeah, we were kind of thinking about going out and investigating the kind of fish thing that we had talked about investigating before.
We were heading to a river so long ago.
We were, and that seems like a relatively good idea.
Yeah.
Hopefully, stabbing free.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Just fish. So I'm hoping nothing happens.
Yeah, it should be pretty uneventful, I would think. Just going to look at some water. We've still got all these fishing nets that we borrowed from your friend.
Yeah, I'm guessing Tabreem is wondering where all of his supplies went.
Lucanus sits back down and starts eating. And he's just eating and drinking and listening.
He's doing more drinking.
Hey, buddy. So we were thinking about heading out tomorrow to go back to the river to investigate those fish, to the river. Remember the fish that we were going to go investigate last time we left town before we got distracted?
I will see you guys tomorrow morning. I don't really have the mental capacity to be here when someone is incapacitated. So I will see you tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Up some moves.
All right.
That's fair.
We'll
I don't know if I do either.
Bye, Kay!
Sleep
Bye.
well.
All right. All right. Well, I guess she's gonna come with us tomorrow.
That hopefully things go smoothly. Otherwise, I imagine next time we won't see her for like 10 days instead of 2.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I hope she didn't
Or her
feel...
mother will just have us arrested.
I hope she didn't feel pressured. You don't think I made her feel pressured to come, did you? Do you?
I don't feel like we were pressuring her. Kay seems certainly like the kind of person who would say no when she wants to say no.
What do you think?
She's fine, guys. Lucanus pipes up from his meal.
Speaking of which, how are you doing? Lucanus? How are you doing, buddy?
He just sort of sits there, having no idea what's going on. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah? I mean,
Fine.
you've been trapped up the last 2 days and stuck in here. That had to be pretty
Yeah,
boring.
We'll get outside in the fresh air tomorrow. That'll be nice.
Yeah, that sounds good.
You want another drink there, buddy?
Oh, of course.
So I go up and I ask Leon for like a water in a stein, hoping that he's so drunk that he can no longer tell what he's drinking, and that it will just be water.
Yeah, I can do that. I actually did water down the last drink he had, but
Thank you.
this one is all water. Yeah.
So I bring that back and set it down. And I got one for myself too, so it doesn't look super suspicious.
Lucanus cheers him and then drinks like the entire thing. Oh, vodka. Nice.
Some primo quality shit, huh?
There's no way that vodka and water are anything alike.
Mhm.
I mean, when you're that drunk,
When you're this drunk.
Yeah.
He
Cedric,
just saw that it was colorless, so I'm just going with it.
Cedric is like, are you sure that's a good idea? I feel like maybe he shouldn't be drinking quite that much. I mean, if we're gonna leave tomorrow.
I just turn and I'm like, it's fine, Cedric.
Oh, okay, fine. I mean, I guess you know more about elf physiology than I do. So, all right. Well, I guess I'm gonna have another one.
What is the transcription rate of elf alcohol dehydrogenases?
Probably better than humans, but probably not as good as
It's
dwarves.
got to be pretty mystical, right?
No, they actually. The elf base race has a minus to their constitution ability
snap.
score. Yeah. So worse than humans.
Lucanus is probably more drunk than
Okay.
even Fletcher anticipates.
Yeah. You need to get to use some ye olde aspirin.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna. As we have dinner and are down here the rest of the night, I'm gonna keep trying the water trick as often as I can.
Okay.
And it works.
Yeah. It starts to work. Like, it's gonna take him a while. He probably still needs to sleep it
Oh
off
yeah,
somewhere.
no,
But-
yeah. I imagine he'll
Yeah.
still go to bed drunk for the second
Oh
time today.
yeah. But Lucanus has no idea. He's like an undergrad on their first drinking bender.
Yeah.
He just thinks he's drinking vodka.
Yeah. But, when he wakes up the next time, hopefully he'll be the better for it. Speaking of which, I guess you all will go to bed.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. After that,
Lucanus
we
stumbles,
eat dinner and do that. And
Lucanus
get him,
sort of
like-
stumbles up the stairs and he goes to sleep holding a beer mug like a teddy bear.
we went up at the same time to make sure
Okay.
that he went in his room
Right.
rather
Yeah.
than sit at the bar.
You do the thing where you put his arm under his head and roll him on his side. And
Yeah.
Alrighty. So yeah, you're good to fast forward to morning.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, then it is Salunum, the 8th day of Bloom Run, and you wake up. Anybody choosing to be the first one to wake up?
I feel like Cedric is always the first one up, but he spends so long praying, like in his room. Like he's at least in there for 45 minutes typically, so like gives everybody else a chance to beat him downstairs.
But
Yeah.
while you're awake and praying, you do notice you can hear the sound of rain on the roof. Not super heavy, but it is tapping away on the roof and the windows.
So Lucanus comes down and orders a breakfast and what's like the fatty Leon, what's the kind of fattiest, hangoveriest food thing you have on the menu?
I've got the full Tenibrian breakfast. It's got sausage and tomatoes and beans and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Eggs. It's a full English breakfast. Can you give me another fortitude save and see how
Beans
you...
and toast.
Yeah, see how you made it through the night with all that water and whatever.
Oh, this
I'm
one's
definitely up and down there.
Wait. Sorry, that all happened at once. What?
17.
Okay, yeah, you're feeling a lot better. I mean, like, still not 100%, but, like, yeah,
Oh,
you feel better.
He's hungover.
Yeah.
But
But it's not like deathly hungover though. Like you're functioning. Yeah.
Just give him some sunglasses and a Red Bull. He'll be fine.
No,
Classy.
he's
So
in his
classy.
he's in his robe, which is like obviously like a security blanket right now. Like, you know those
Aw.
hangovers where it's like, yeah, I shouldn't be out of bed today, but you are?
Mm-hmm.
That's where he's at.
Good. Good. Should be fun for adventuring.
Yeah. Leon just sort of keeps an eye on you while he does things.
Yeah. And the drink he has, by the way, is water. It's not alcoholic because he has to work today.
Marvelous.
Yeah, when Cedric comes downstairs, he sits down next to you with his breakfast. He's like, "How you doing, buddy? How you feeling?"
Not doing good.
Yeah, you look a little.
I mean, I'm not feeling great, but you know.
You look a little rough.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
All right. Well, maybe take it a little easier next time.
Lucanus just sort of shrugs and continues on his breakfast. He's kind of eating it slow in spurts, but it's going down, much to his surprise.
Don't say the word spurts.
Yeah. How long does it take? So I guess Kay is not there yet.
Doesn't sound like it.
Nope. Kay, I guess, like, wakes up and contemplates life a little bit. I'm guessing she has the day off from deliveries.
Yeah, I mean the delivery thing is not like super constant. So yeah, there's plenty of time. You know, you and Azzy hang out a lot and other things. Like, yeah.
Okay. And we are adventuring, so she, like, picks up her armor and stuff. So she'll need that. And then, like, puts it back down. And then, like, looks at her crossbow. And then, like, sits back down on her bed. And, like, gets some gumption.
All right, you got to kind of work yourself up to it. But do you eventually get up and go to the marked bird?
I do, eventually. But I don't put it on. I carry the armor there.
Okay.
Protest.
I mean, there's, like, she has, like, a tank top and leggings on. It's not like she's walking out of the house naked or anything. She's underage!
Are you just bringing your armor and your weapons? Or are you bringing like a backpack of things? Like,
Yeah, I guess she'll bring the backpack of things.
okay, good to
The
know.
crossbow is unceremoniously shoved into the backpack of things, which is not tied closed. And if it could get any lower on her back, it would be dragging on the ground.
Oh yeah, awesome. Loose book bag straps.
That's got to be a big bag. Crossbows are so awkwardly shaped.
I didn't say it was in there well.
Fair enough. When you walk in the door, Cedric is again incredibly cheerily excited to see you. Kay, have you had breakfast?
I haven't, actually.
Leon! Breakfast with Kay!
Oh, of course. Good morning, Kay. How are you?
Good morning. I'm, hanging in there as well as most people can hang in.
Yeah? Yeah? Peter left a new book for you. He thought you might like it. And it's just, like a little book with a red leather cover, and he just passes it across the bar. He said it was a story like the one you like to read, so.
Aw, that's nice. Thank you. She picks it up and starts, leafing through it. Does it have a title?
Yeah, you like adventure stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this one is The Mists of the Moor.
Ooh.
So today we should, just go into a river. It should just be a nice time outside today, I think.
Yeah. Last week was supposed to just be a nice jaunt through a field.
Yeah, also it's raining. I don't know if you guys noticed. I mean, I assume you did, Kay, because you're kind of wet. But sounds like it's raining outside, so that'll be fun, I guess.
You're not. Are you allergic to rain?
Just a little rain.
No, I just,
Did you not? Oh, there's no rain underground.
there is no rain underground.
Sky water, Cedric. Sky water.
I know about rain. They had rain when I was on the boat. I was on the boat for like a month on the way over here. It was, I experienced rain.
Lucanus is so hungover he doesn't really quite know what to talk about, so he's like, so what was your first experience with rain like?
He just said, the boat. That was
How did the
literally
rain
in the
make you
previous
feel?
sentence. Is he okay? Didn't you guys take care of him last night?
He's hungover.
He will be okay.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. My first experience with rain was on the boat, so it was very exciting. It made me feel excited because of the rain, which was new and different. I liked that.
Good, so you'll be excited to go adventuring in the rain today to figure out the stuff with the fish.
Yeah. Yep, I'm always excited to go adventuring.
I'm less excited to go adventuring.
I think I killed them. We're not going to make it because they don't want to play anymore.
All it took was one rainstorm.
I want to go see the fish, guys.
All right. Well, I mean,
I feel like fishies are what I need right now.
I'm done with my breakfast. I'm ready to go whenever you guys are.
Yeah.
All right. So just as a reminder, so you guys are heading to the river.
Yeah.
Okay. So so you know that in order to get to the river, you kind of have to go out of kind of the north part of town and through the grasslands a little to get to an accessible part of the river. So it's going to take you probably most of the morning to get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
In my armor, is there a giant stab wound hole from, where I got stabbed because it's leather and stuff?
That's a great question. I feel like a lot of D&D players and DMs and the people who wrote the books just sort of wave their hands about that. If you're playing World of Warcraft, you have to repair your armor because it gets holes in it. In D&D, people are just kind of But yeah, it does. But as to that affecting its efficacy as armor, the rules don't say no. So, it's still good armor, apparently.
Cool. ¿Me puede pasar mi chompa?
I feel like it's if it's the only thing that really gets mentioned is stuff getting burned. A total destruction of things makes it so it's you can't use that anymore. But damage. It's like, oh, well,
Yeah.
it's
Kay
fine.
just like holds
Like,
up her armor and
self-heals.
just like puts her fist through it and is like,
I mean, if you want to get it repaired, you can. If you guys want us to come up with a metric for keeping track of how much damage your armor takes until you can't use it anymore, we can.
Yeah, let's do that second one.
yeah.
Hey, Kay, can I see that for a minute? I might be able to fix it a little bit.
She hands it over, doesn't say anything, just gives him the.
All right. I'm going to cast Mending on the hole.
That's why I was chuckling. Let me check to make sure, because I know it's limited because it's a low-level spell, so it's limited in what it can do.
Yeah. But you are trusting Cedric with clothes.
There's
It
not
repairs-
dirty. It just has a hole in it.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
clothes,
it
it's
repairs
armor.
small breaks or tears. Mm-hmm.
It was like
It'll
a
get fixed. It'll just get a stain.
yeah. It's dirtier now, but the hole is gone.
Stain just appears.
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently, mending works to fill the hole. Ciao.
Yeah. So I kind of like pinch the leather together and just kind of like make like a zipper motion with my fingers, and it just kind of like heals up, and there's just like kind of a big like there's still like a kind of a scuff mark there, but it almost looks like a scar that was in the leather like before it was leather.
Kay like takes it back and like pokes it incredulously.
Moradin is
Nice. Well, now you've got solid armor.
he's good at fixing stuff, you know.
But not cleaning stuff.
No, not a super good cleaning god, but you know, making stuff and fixing stuff. That's us dwarves. Cedric
Well,
flexes.
thanks. I appreciate it.
No problem. No problem. Glad to help. That's what we're here for, right? Is like helping each other out.
Yeah.
Aww.
We're a team.
So, yeah. Yeah, so the reason I was mentioning that it's going to take you, like, most of the morning, like, you anticipate you could get to the river around midday, is just in case you wanted to pack any extra supplies. But I didn't know if that was a thing you wanted to do or not.
I
Well, I
packed
mean,
some stuff.
Lucanus hasn't
I guess.
really used. Lucanus like has 30 days of rations, and he hasn't really used them, as far as I know, because he just tends to like hunt and eat things as he goes. So.
Cedric has not brought any snacks at all.
In that
I feel like I have
backpack
my
that is
usual
loosely
stuff.
holding a crossbow.
Are we ready then?
Yep.
Okay.
Physically, yeah. Mentally,
Okay. So
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Kay.
So Kay leads you. I'm assuming Kay is leading you out of town since she knows the direction of things. Yeah.
I feel like we've gotten better at that. I mean,
You
it's where we
have.
headed out before. I feel like we're all kind of heading.
No, this is in a different direction than you've gone before. So when you went out to the farms before, that was to the east.
you're going west, right?
And you went to the fort, which was on the west, but now you're going kind of north and then west.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Weren't
Yeah, we
we-
wouldn't know where the like town, like the exit.
But weren't we originally headed towards the river when we left? Like when we went to the farms the first time? Wasn't that like our plan before we ran into Bedwar?
Yeah, but we didn't get very far. I don't think
Okay.
we even made it outside the city.
Well, we did. We made it to the farms.
So
Do you remember
I
why
think
you
the reason,
went to the
I think
farm?
we were
Nope.
gonna go see it I think we were gonna go up the river, and then we met like some farmer guy who was like, "Hey,
Oh.
help me," and then we did.
Yes.
And then his friend died.
Yes, we did. Oh, that just makes it
And
more
then his
sad.
friend died.
That his friend died.
Yeah.
Okay, now, all
I
right, I,
mean,
remember now.
That's one of the two phrases that I like to put into conversations just when the story gets boring. It's either "and then his friend died" or "and that's when the cannibalism started."
Well, Cedric did not bring any snacks, so there's still hope for both of those.
Awesome. Okay. So yeah, you navigate your way out of town through like the north gate in the wall, and you enter into the grasslands. So again, the grasslands sort of take up this whole portion of the continent outside of New Sechester. So yeah, you are going to be making it through the grasslands again, sort of north and west to get to the river. So who wants to sort of head up that part of the navigation?
Lucanus is heading up the rear to watch over everyone, as you know a good bodyguard does.
I am not going first.
Well, it shouldn't be Cedric. I'm just saying. But like, there's no way the rest of the party trusts Cedric to lead. So.
I guess I'm probably walking like alongside Cedric. People always talk about D&D as if everyone marches everywhere in a single file, like
right.
You don't have to be in a
kindergartner line.
Right.
No.
But like, I don't think we are.
You don't have to be in a line right now. No.
No.
I
Yeah.
think
We're
it's
just kind of
probably more of a
meandering.
guidance shape because Lucanus always like heads up the back of the party since that's where ambushes happen.
I mean, you could be, we're off to see the wizarding for all I care. I just wanted to know who was, like, deciding which direction you were walking.
I mean, Kay could be saying things, but I think Cedric and I are in front of her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like, it's like the two of us, and she's like behind us. She can kind of be like, "Oh, like we'll go like
I'm backseat driving.
head towards those trees."
Okay.
Like,
So
yeah.
if Kay is giving directions, then Kay, I need you to make a survival check.
Well, now we're fucked.
And Lucanus is keeping track, or keeping watch for ambushes, so give me a perception check.
All right.
Hope we don't get
if we
ambushed
know the
immediately.
direction once they're outside, we can kind of just keep heading that direction. Not
I'm
too
doing
bad.
a what check, Sheryl? A survival check?
Yes.
Mm.
And I got a 15.
I
for
have
the
absolutely
perception.
nothing in that.
Oh, and what's my perception bonus? Because I know I have a perception bonus.
So is this a D20 plus my
I did
modifier
not have
is a
time to get
0?
organized. All right.
I got a 14.
Fortitude, reflex, Christmas string, great sword.
Perception is your listen if it's on your character sheet, or spot check. That's the one we like made up. That's a combination of two.
Yeah, perception for me is 3. No, wait. It's 4.
Okay, and you rolled a 15, so that would give you a 19 total, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so you're alert and feeling much better, especially with the fresh air and the little bit of cool rain on your face. So you're keeping watch as best you can, but you don't see anything. You don't see anything out and about on the grasslands. So, you know, there might be some birds and things, but nothing big or scary. Kay, with a 14 on survival, yeah, you give the guys the general direction that you need to travel. And again, it's not like you're trying to hit a bullseye here. Like, you're looking for the river. So as long as you walk in, you know, pretty much the right direction, you should hit it eventually. Is there anything you guys would like to discuss while you are walking through the grasslands this morning?
I mean, I'm always down to talk about Moradin if you guys want to talk about Moradin.
I feel like we should be talking about the
I prefer when we
Lucanus
talk
Drink
about the
Virgin
potatoes.
situation.
That is something, yeah. So, Kay, yeah, do you have any ideas about the whole... So, yeah, so you know... Okay, so we told you last night kind of quickly that we saw the bounty sign for Lucanus. Do you remember us telling you about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Long story short, we figured out that Wergent has put out a bounty on Lucanus, claiming that Carissa was his daughter, and uh,
He is
so
a very bad stepfather.
yeah, and so we're so we had Lucanus basically had to lay low the whole time we were in town because we were worried that somebody would, recognize him. But it doesn't have like a picture or anything like that. It just said like a tall man with swords and looks scary, which is true.
Wow,
Yeah.
specific. That's 90% of the town.
I mean, honestly, guys, this is what the robe is for. I mean, if he really knew what I looked like and wanted to find me, he just would have said the word elf.
Yeah, yeah. I mean I think that helps a lot because you could be like, I'm not that guy. That guy sounds human.
Yeah.
Or
well,
orcish.
All right, so Lucanus is up for bounty and has been drinking in his room for the past 2 days. Anything else I should know about?
I bought 2 new shirts.
Congratulations. Anything else?
Whatever happened to that head? Did you guys tell her about the head?
Yeah.
Yeah, we told her about the head.
That was one of the things we told her about.
Yeah, that you got rid of it. Did they say anything?
Yeah, like we said, the captain was appreciative of what we told her, but honestly, she kind of seemed not surprised enough that there are suddenly orcs here. She was just like, oh yeah, orcs are everywhere else. I guess they're here now. Which, to me, seemed odd. You'd think you'd be worried about a threat suddenly appearing. But she didn't seem
that
interested
implies
in,
that
like...
she might actually give a shit about anyone in the town, which, is arguable.
Oh, are the military, are they not super proactive about town stuff? This is why we need you around, Kay. We didn't even know who to talk to. Oh, that's the other thing. We were gonna go talk to the Greens, but turns out they're gone. Maybe you know that, but yeah, apparently they just left town.
Probably because the orcs are coming.
I mean,
you think they knew?
Sort of beef with the orcs?
I don't know. If you're like a fancy rich guy in a fancy rich mansion, and I don't know, you think, we can't be the only people who almost died at the hands of orcs, right? Sure. So, you think he would leave?
Yeah, also, isn't he being blackmailed by Swan and, his shipping empire collapsed?
Right, so now he has 2 reasons to leave.
Yeah.
He could be on vacation.
No one takes vacation here. Where would you even vacation to?
Yeah, we live in a tropical paradise, basically.
Kay, you do know because Jay told you they left to go back to Tenebria because it was the parents decided it was time for Janet to do her coming out in society for the summer season thing. Yeah.
Oh.
And Jay was a little crestfallen because maybe it was also a way for them to get her away from him and introduce her to young men of her station kind of thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Well, apparently they went back to where they came from, so that way Janet can, I don't know. I don't understand. Go and do a thing that young women do. Anyway, my brother thinks that it's just a big scam, so that way she doesn't date him.
Aww.
But anyway, she's not here. They're not here.
Aww.
They went and did some, upper rich royal class thing and not here.
That's too bad, but at least they're safe.
They weren't really ever unsafe. They're blackmailed, but
from the orcs.
the other people have ships. They'll just go blackmail them where they came from.
Yeah.
That's true. I'm sure Sawan knows. Even if they left, I'm sure she knows where they live in Tenebria.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
that's all.
Well, thanks for, handling everything while I was busy.
Sure. Yeah. That's what teammates do.
Yeah, it's good to know that you guys can, accomplish things without me.
Yeah, but it is very hard.
I will keep that in mind.
Yeah. Also, we figured out what that potion was. We talked to Fluvis and Fluvis's friend, the gnome.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but mainly Fluvis.
Switch that.
We talked to Pops and his helper, Fluvis.
Well, wait. How do we know that Pops isn't Fluvis's helper?
Did anybody else notice that he winked? Did anybody else notice that he winked at us when he called us plucky? What was that about?
You're plucky. What's the potion?
It's a universal solvent.
Oh yeah, it dissolves sticky stuff apparently.
That's it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, if we ran into another giant spider, it might be useful.
True. It's alright.
Or another orc.
Don't say that.
Yeah, we're gonna try and not run into any more orcs.
That's why you're keeping a lookout. If you see something from far away that's orc shaped, we leave.
Yeah, if you see
That
something,
sounds
say
good to
something.
me.
Lucanus is still keeping an eye out on the horizon.
All right. Well, pretty soon, because I'm assuming you're scanning sort of in every direction, you see sort of that characteristic like dip in the landscape that indicates you might be coming to a body of water. And so you guys do wind up approaching. What you can see and hear is the river. I'm assuming you're here to investigate, yes?
Yes.
All right. So can I have perception checks from everyone, and then anyone who is trained in knowledge nature can also give me a separate knowledge nature check. Nature check!
Oh, maybe I should have put things in that.
I got a 2,
Cool.
22.
For your perception?
but my bonus is 3. Yeah, I got a 2 on
I
it.
also got a 2,
Okay.
but I got an 8 total.
It just rocked forward and it's a 12. Should I re-roll? I guess it wasn't stable on my phone.
I was gonna say if it was cocked or whatever, try it again.
I'll re-roll. I thought it was stable. Oh, it's a 1. So this was not meant to happen.
No, but you're doing an excellent job keeping your eyes out for bad guys. So you're just not as interested in the river. Okay, and then Kay, you got a what?
An 8.
An 8.
Kay is like, she's not in it right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Cedric, what's your perception?
I got a 22.
Woohoo! And Fletcher, are you the only one with knowledge nature?
Yep. I got a total of 20 perception, and then I got a natural 20 and a total 24 for nature knowledge.
Holy crap!
All right. Well, okay.
Most valuable player.
Cedric is like, or Fletcher is like, I wrote my dissertation on rivers and river health.
I know that. This is a third order river.
All right.
Dennis is just like, I think it's wet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it's wet. And it's still slightly drizzling, although the rain seems to be petering out here at the just after midday point. Fletcher, as you're all standing on the bank and you sort of start looking up and down and around and just sort of standing still and listening, there aren't any things around. No frogs, no snakes, no herons, no kingfishers. There's nothing hanging out. There's no mammals swimming in the water, nothing drinking. It's very quiet and still.
Nothing drinking, not even Lucanus.
And both Fletcher and Cedric, you don't necessarily notice that there are animals missing, but both of you notice that the surface of the river looks like shiny in some patches, like almost iridescent, and a bunch of like back eddies, or like where there are stones sticking up out of the river, you can see there's this foam, and there's sort of like a bad smell coming off of the river, and just like the water doesn't look awesome. The bad smell is kind of like rotting eggs.
Silent Spring.
Well, this smells great. Lucanus is in a bit of a bad mood because of his hangover.
Well, there's definitely something wrong with this water.
Cedric goes down to the water and like scoops some of it up in his hand and tastes it just like Pop did.
Hold on. Wait, let me read in my notes what happens when you do that. You didn't want to test any of my specialty drinks because you're worried they're all going to hurt you, but you drink the water in the river.
Well, last
Fletcher's
episode
like,
we had this whole conversation about like how you would identify chemicals and things like that.
Yeah, you did. Hold on. No.
Well, either way, Cedric is going to taste very bad right now.
Give me 2 fortitude saves.
Oh.
One after the other.
Okay, that's a 17 and a 15.
Okay.
Ooh,
Whoops,
actually,
okay,
sorry,
hold
that's
on.
an 18 and a 16.
An 18 and a 16.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my god, why won't this die? For frick's sake! First it was on my coaster, then it was on my mouse pad, then it wanted to fall on the floor. Okay, Cedric, it tastes awful. It tastes awful. Like, horrifyingly bad. Like, you can't swallow. You spit it out. But your hand and the inside of your mouth are tingly. Like, painful tingly, and you take 1 point of non-lethal acid damage.
Okay.
He drank the water. I can't. I just can't.
Oh,
Dude,
God! Oh! He's just, like, spitting onto the ground.
That good, huh?
It's really bad. It, like,
I mean, given the fact that the fish that came from here was bad enough to get Leon punched in the face, you kind of sort of figured that.
oh.
Should have figured that.
Are you
it's like,
okay?
yeah, it burned the inside of my mouth. Like, it's all tingly and like burny. And oh,
Like in a
my
good way
hand!
with
Look how
pepper?
red my hand is. It's all like, ugh. And it tingles too. It's like, you know, when you fall asleep on it and then you wake up and it's all tingly. It's like that, but also it feels like it got burned a little bit. Oh God, ugh. It tastes really
So
bad.
not like peppers then.
Yeah, it tastes like I don't know, like the water that they quench metal in. You know how it has that gets that like slick on top of it after a couple of decades.
Can't say I've had that experience, but I'm glad that you kind of know what you're looking at.
Maybe, Cedric, maybe you should come back up away from the bank of the river and find a puddle or something, since it's been raining, to kind of rinse off your hand.
Oh yeah,
And
does
maybe
any?
not, drink the puddle water. Don't drink the puddle water.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe don't drink the
Yeah.
puddle water.
Cedric just like.
Okay, like we brought water, right? Because like we're adventuring, so I like hand him like the water.
Do you have a water skin?
Do you have a water
I
skin?
don't know. Is it in like the right? Is it in the water thing?
What?
It's not very specific.
Is there a water skin in your backpack?
Is it with like the trail rations?
That's
I
food.
think I actually have a
Food.
water skin in mine. Let me.
Oh,
No,
I
I
do.
don't have
I have
one.
it written down. I have a water skin. Ha!
Yep, I do as well.
So
This is where
I
we
give
test to
Cedric
see if
some
they actually
water.
have the things they need.
Right.
Okay, you give Cedric some water.
Lucanus
Cedric,
just
rinse out your mouth.
Water skin.
Yeah. I rinse out my mouth and like wash my hand off.
Okay.
Yeah.
It feels less tingly, still a little red.
Is there anything weird about with the plants along the bank, the riparian plants?
Some of the ones that are closest to the water and like you think like, yeah, their roots might be right in it kind of thing, especially the smaller plants. Like the trees don't necessarily look, because there are a few trees and shrubs along here, even though the land farther away from the river is grassland. There are a few trees and things here and shrubs and stuff. The woody plants mostly look okay, but a lot of the forbs and the grasses that are close to the water's edge, they look, yeah, a little sad. It's not like they're dehydrated, they're not like droopy, but like the color just seems off, or, you know, they seem a little stunted for this point in the season. Yeah.
Well, we should, if there's something wrong with the water, we should probably follow the river upstream and see if we can figure out where this is coming from.
Yeah, because that doesn't sound dangerous at all. Sure, why not?
Are there any dead animals around?
Make another perception check.
One.
I mean, you're having a hard time focusing on one thing today. Also, the smell is kind of getting to you, and like that, you know, you're still not entirely over the hangover. The smell is kind of making you like want to back up and maybe not investigate the river so much. It's not great.
My rolls today are very bimodal.
So what are you going to do? Just like head upstream, I guess? I mean, there's obviously nothing to catch in the water, so the net doesn't seem like it's particularly useful.
Yeah.
Did we take a sample of it? Of the river water?
Yeah, Fletcher, don't you have some like empty little glass jars?
Yeah, we can take some. Maybe let's take them along the way to see if we get a change. If like the shine of the water goes away or starts to diminish, we know that we've maybe gone past the source. If it goes away, we're too far upstream, and it can help us kind of pinpoint what's going on. If it's a point source instead of a non-point source.
I don't know what you just said, but that sounds smart. So let's do that.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good.
How big is this river?
It's pretty broad. Like you can't really see the other side from where you are. Right
Oh wow!
Now. Like
Okay.
it's pretty big. Yeah.
So we're on
pretty
this bank.
significant then.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, you remember Tabreem cautioned you, or mostly cautioned Kay, to not try to like swim in it because it's very powerful and very big.
That makes sense. We're near the coast, so this river would be sort of at the end of its watershed and be super wide and flowing out into the ocean.
Exactly. Yeah, so you estimate that like if you wanted to get across it, like for the bird harvest or whatever else, that you would probably need some sort of conveyance across.
Well, then I guess we're walking.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I guess we'll not be able to go get those birds until we get like a boat or something like that. I don't know how we're gonna.
Yeah, I mean,
Swimming in
to be honest, I
swimming
don't
in this
need to pay
river
me to
sounds
get
like
into
a
that
really
water
bad
right
idea,
now.
guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I definitely
Yeah, I
wouldn't
don't-
swim in it. My hand is still kind of tingly. Look, did you see how red it is? He's
Very
like
red.
shoving it in
I
his
Yeah,
see.
well, that's what you get for touching like doom water. Like I don't know what to tell you.
Ooh.
Water.
I don't know who looks at like the bubbling, putrid, like smelly, doomy doom, and is like, you know what? I think that looks delightful. I'm just going to take a small sip.
You know what I should have done? Should have done this before. Cedric
I mean,
walks down to the creek.
Okay, does
and
it
like
surprise
walks down
you
the
that
bank
it's the
again.
guy who eats rats that does this?
Yeah, Cedric walks down to the water again and casts detect poison. I should have done this before.
It's almost like you could have
Cedric,
done that
you
without
just do
shoving
this
it in
with
your
your
mouth
tongue?
first.
Why
Okay.
waste, magical energy when you can just like accidentally kill yourself instead?
Well,
Tell me what you're supposed
You
to.
just did this with your tongue!
so you determine whether a creature, object, or area has been poisoned or is poisonous. You can determine the exact type of poison with a DC 20 Wisdom check. A character with the alchemy skill, which I don't have, blah 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 blah. The spell can penetrate barriers, but 1 foot of stone, an inch of common metal, thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt blocks it.
Okay.
So basically,
we don't need to worry about that.
Okay, so basically, I can tell whether it's been poisoned, and if I get over a 20 on a wisdom check, I know what type of poison it is.
Okay. Is that a thing you're doing?
Can I?
You can try anything.
Is this Cedric,
You can try.
We're playing D&D. You can try anything.
You can try. I mean, you drink the water. That's...
Yeah, right? Like, wasn't prepared for that, but here we are.
This, by the way, is this Cedric explaining the spell to the group?
No, that was just him making sure that we were both on the same page for what he
Right.
could get from this spell. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So first of all, is it poisoned?
Yes.
All right, I got 11 on my wisdom check, so I don't know what kind of poison it is.
So we know it's poison.
Hey guys,
It's a spicy poison.
guys, yeah, it's definitely poisoned. It's definitely poisoned. Yeah. Yep.
Are you doing it with the fingers in your temple?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like this is like I'm like
Yeah,
like
yeah.
like a glow comes out of my hand as I like hold it over the river. I'm just like, yeah, guys. Okay, it's definitely poisoned. Yeah.
Wow.
Do you know what kind of
that.
poison? 'Cause that seems like it might be useful.
Nope. Just like
Do you know where it came from?
I mean upstream, I guess. I just know that this
Yeah.
water right here is poisoned.
And you didn't know that before after you drank it?
When you drank it? In your mouth? And it burned you?
Well, okay, there are lots of things that can burn you that aren't poison, like fire.
Is the river on fire?
Is the river fire?
No, but it could be some kind of like magical water or something. I don't know. Maybe it's does acid count
He
as a
just, like,
poison?
turns around and starts walking upstream.
Right. Guys,
Lucanus,
I feel like we should
Lucanus
argue about whether
walks
acid is
over-
poison or
Lucanus
not.
walks over to the
Yeah, I'm
river.
walking upstream.
Yeah. Guys,
Lucanus
where are you
walks
going?
over to the river and Lucanus walks over to the river and uses a flint and steel to try to set it on fire. Do I need to roll for this?
They're like, they drink the water, now they want to light it on fire.
the fact that the DM has to check their notes for this is concerning.
I mean, okay, so I made a lot of notes, and I was like, oh, they'll try this, or they'll try this in the river, and you've tried 2 things that were not on my list, even though I thought I'd made exhaustive notes, so now...
Way to describe
me
being a
for a
DM
moment.
in a nutshell.
We're going to drink the poison, and then we're going to try to recreate the Cuyahoga River.
Yes, that is exactly what I was trying to do.
Okay, it's just stomping upstream. Not particularly quickly, but stomping
Yeah,
upstream.
I'm going upstream too.
Okay,
It was like 5 minutes ago that I was like, we should be heading upstream to find the source.
Mhm.
You're walking on the bank, I assume.
Yes.
Okay.
And a little bit
Uh,
up, so we're kind of a little bit above like the smell that's over. I kind
Yeah,
of went up
cave
to get
of
out.
Right.
We're in
yeah.
we're in slightly fresher air, a little bit higher up.
Cool. Lucanus, so you're just like flint and steel, like above the river, like hoping to catch fumes, I guess, is what you're going for?
Yeah, I'm trying
Okay.
to land the sparks on the slicks to see if they'll ignite.
Okay, nothing seems to ignite when you do that.
Okay. Well, guys, it doesn't look like it's flammable, whatever it is.
That's good.
Kay is out of earshot.
Yeah, I guess you're telling Cedric.
Yeah. We're like following you guys' like footprints in the
Cedric,
ground.
you turn.
Yep.
Okay, so you're walking up, so you're on the eastern bank of this river, and you're walking upstream. How far upstream are you going from where you first met the river, I guess?
Basically, watching for where, as the slicks become more prevalent, or there's like a worsening of things. It seemed like we're getting towards where it's coming from, where it'd be more concentrated. And at the same time, like if there's suddenly no more smell or foam or anything, we know we've gone too far. So it's kind of just looking for the signs that of what we saw further down the river.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess like how far are you walking in like time? Yeah. Or distance.
I assume we walked for a little while, and like Cedric and Lucanus catch up with Fletcher and Kay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys?
Kay really kicks a rock into the river.
It bloops into the water.
Not
Yeah,
making me feel
but
better.
as far as like you walk, quite a ways, probably 100, 200 yards, maybe even 300 yards. And the river is about the same distance across and about the same level of you're getting the feeling, Fletcher, with that amazing nature check earlier, you're getting the feeling that this is like the main riverine artery, maybe of this entire continent. It's huge. So you have a feeling that it might drain like a lot of very large watersheds, and that's why it's so big. And you're getting the feeling that like you might have to walk for like days to get to a point
anywhere.
Yeah, to get to a point where like the river is narrower, or
Yeah.
This is a lot of water.
Yeah. So it's starting to seem like this may not be something coming into the Cochrial River. It might be coming into one of the tributary rivers that could be coming from almost anywhere else on Arda, probably, and draining in here. So I don't know if we're going to be able to solve this, right now by walking and trying to find where it's coming from. So maybe we collect a couple more samples
back to
try to identify.
Identify what it is at least, and maybe I can give the nets back to our friend, because I'm pretty sure if they go into the river, they'll get dissolved. Thanks, Cedric, for, helping with that assessment.
Sure, glad to be of service. I mean,
I don't know. I'm not reading my friend's net, though.
My tongue was kind of dissolved a little bit, so...
Yeah, see?
So you're saying this might be like a kind of a couple of day trip?
Or more, because if there's many tributaries coming to this, we could walk and walk and walk and keep checking each tributary to see if it's clean running into this river or not. And if it's not, you have to just keep going to the next one.
So maybe it would make sense to identify what it is, and if it's like some common pollutant, maybe someone in or around in the neighboring. I mean, there's obviously neighboring places. We've met some people from the places that were outside the city. Like maybe they would know whatever the chemical is, or the stuff, the sludge is. Yeah. Maybe they, if we identify it, other people would know where it's being produced or being dumped or something.
Maybe
it could even be naturally occurring.
Know when it started. And if they knew when it started, they might be able to tell us where it started.
What do you mean it can be naturally occurring?
There are things that you can have a natural phenomenon. That, there's an earthquake or something happens that changes the fundamental structure of something in the earth that releases a substance that then can access other areas it wasn't able to access before.
Do your rivers just pour out sludge naturally where you come from?
Have you ever walked through a swamp and disturbed the muck and allowed a bubble of methane to escape? That could be what is happening.
Oh.
Well, that's what could be happening.
We call those river farts.
I've been to university.
Ooh, fancy. I've,
Yeah, now I want to know if Fletcher's ever actually walked through a swamp, or if you just know the example from a textbook.
Probably from a textbook.
I mean, have you ever left the walls of your university?
Where am I right now, little girl?
Well...
Lucanus just makes the low. Woo!
So you
So
left it once. Congratulations, we're the same.
And I also didn't grow up in a university, so there's that too. I didn't live in one place my whole life. I walked back down to the river to take some more samples.
Kay
She's
just
gonna
stomped
push
back
you
down
in.
the river.
Janice follows Kay.
So
Does not acknowledge anyone.
I didn't know this was going to be a PvP game, but here
yeah,
we are.
I know.
Peter and I are appalled.
Yeah. I don't like a personal conflict.
I imagine Cedric is just like, oh my god, mom and dad are fighting.
Yeah.
While his mouth is still like numb.
Yeah. Fletcher, I feel like maybe you hurt Kay's feelings.
Fletcher right now is very much in a mode of like trying to like exhibit the when people who think they know a lot desperately don't like people trying to tell them what to do because they feel like they're the ones who know, like, you know, that like academic syndrome is what Fletcher is
Experiencing?
no, what am I trying to, like modeling, like that, like that is what this is. So yeah, Cedric, you say that and he's like whatever, I'm the one who's right.
Okay, yeah, I mean, you are right. I mean, like, I've definitely seen, I mean, like, the river, you know, not our river whenever I grew up, but, like, 3 caverns over, there was, like, a volcano eruption, and it definitely poisoned that river. So, yeah, I mean, it did kind of smell like this, too, now that I think about it. But still, I think you could be a little bit more polite about it. I mean, just saying.
Oh yeah, I'll be polite to the person who disappeared for 2 days and left us hanging.
Okay.
I haven't even looked at Cedric. I'm
Yeah,
just like collecting samples.
Right. Well, but like, okay, but to be fair, she did get stabbed, like really bad. And also, don't you remember what it's like being a child? I mean, like, I was a kid, not all, you know, like
80 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, like when you're in your 30s and everything is just like a raging like bunch of hormones and nobody understands you and you know like everything just feels like too much and you've got all that back knee and you know everyone wants you to do is just read the books of Moradin, but really what you'd like to be doing is collecting cool rocks, you know, being, you know, middle-aged. It's hard. I mean, I'm sure Kay is probably only like 35 or something like that. She's still got a lot of growing to do.
As a 30-something, I feel seen.
Same.
This description is.
I also just want to collect cool rocks.
Yeah. Damn it. I should have. Never mind. Gotta retcon Cedric's backstory now. He likes rocks.
I know, I feel like there was a thing you hinted at in there we'll have to talk about later. That was great. In this moment of absolute tension when Veronica says we should have an interpersonal conflict check that you guys can roll, how about we put all of that on hold and take our bio break? And we'll be back in a few minutes. Thank you, Warioshi, for coming to hang out with us. You're a regular now, and we really appreciate you. Yeah, we're going to get some refreshments. I'm going to get some more cold medicine, and we will BRB.
Action.
Well, hey everybody, we're back. We're still here. Joe will be back soon, so don't worry about it. But we thought for our little breakout today, we would talk about something that Waryoshi was asking about in the chat. So you asked, what is the opposite of imposter syndrome? And I said it's the Dunning-Kruger effect. And yeah, the cast all apparently have strong feelings about the Dunning-Kruger effect in terms of like people they work with, both academics and non-academics. So we thought that might be a good hot take to have this evening in our breakout session before we re-enter the action of the story and continue to deal with tension. So yeah, who has strong feelings about academic attitudes, I guess we can call it.
Wait. First, can you give us a definition of the Dunning-Kruger effect?
Okay, so this is really hilarious and ironic. So the Dunning-Kruger effect is the thing that I can almost never remember the name of, which is like, it's a super funny thing for me to not be able to remember the name of. But basically it's this cool curve where like the axes are how much you think you know and how much you actually know. And then, so like people who know nothing often recognize that they don't know anything, but then you get to a certain point of like knowing some, but like thinking you know a lot, and then it kind of goes back to like once you do know a lot, you realize how much you don't know. So yeah, it's basically a way of explain people who know a little bit about it, just not to be dangerous, are often caught now and are explaining things that they don't really understand to someone who's an expert in that subject.
Well, I feel like mansplaining is more of a conditional thing.
Well, hi, Joe.
Like,
Perfect timing.
What?
Perfect timing. Hi, Joe.
Welcome back.
Hi. Like, so let's say that I was to explain, like, if you were to explain weed biology to me or crop biology in the context of weed competition to me, that would be different.
Yeah, mansplaining has a whole sexism component to it.
Yeah.
They think they know more than even an expert. And in that case, it's exacerbated because of sexism.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry.
I was explaining what the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Oh, okay, so I just like jumped in right after we introduced.
That was perfect. But yeah,
Cool.
I'm inviting all of you to give us your spiciest takes on interactions with people about this. Please be nice. But don't be super nice.
It's not a spicy take if we're nice.
Well,
I'm just saying, like, don't call
I
out
feel like-
individuals.
No.
Oh, I have some very specific people. Can
I
we
feel
call
like
it Gwyneth Paltrow?
the Dunning-Kruger effect is basically like how people describe like higher education. Like you learn a little bit, like in undergrad, and you feel like you know everything, and then by the time you start to learn a lot about a specific subject, if you're going through like a graduate program, you realize how much you don't know.
You don't know shit.
And then you can only be an expert about like a small little thing. And so I feel like that's usually like the evolution of an academic or someone who's gone through like a higher education. But I feel like having worked, now that I'm not in academia and have no plans to be back in academia or be a researcher or anything like that. I've kind of seen how much, even though academics recognize that there's so much they don't know, except in their one little discipline, that still seems to like go away when they talk to people who they see as non-experts in something. So like the people I work with who are very much extreme experts in the things that they do, even if they haven't gone through a graduate program or whatever, it's assumed that they don't know anything, and that the expert can tell them things about like any field or like any subject, and not just their sub-discipline that if they were speaking to another academic they would like constrain themselves to. And I've experienced that with people who have come through, or would be like attend something. There seems to be that, I don't know if that's like looking down upon people who are not academic researchers and assuming they do not know, or have no expertise in anything, when really they really, really do. Yeah, I guess that's my non-academia take.
I mean, sometimes you really have to kind of define what an expert is, because so I worked in industry for a while, and the kind of mantra around industry is, you're not going to be trusted as a scientist if you work in industry. Like, I've had communications people tell me that. And of course, they told me this, while I was probably working with 2 or 3 journalists a week when Ask an Entomologist was a little bit more active. And, those journalists knew that I worked for industry, and they were fine with that. They just, wanted to. A lot of this was stuff that was on background, so which means that, you give them the information that they need to ask questions, to ask good questions. So, I mean, those communications experts are, certainly educated in what they do, but I'm kind of one of those weird people where I can wield an ancillary skill set better than some people can wield their primary skill sets. And even though they're kind of the experts in it, I've been in situations where I've obviously had more knowledge than quote-unquote experts, which is kind of a weird situation to be in. Is that kind of a lag, or?
No.
I think we're processing.
I think we're all processing.
Sorry.
No. Well, I was trying to think about how it ties back into the game, right? Because really what we're seeing here is we've got Fletcher, who's not an expert in like river systems, but is more knowledgeable than Kay, and we've got Kay, who's not knowledgeable in river systems, and Fletcher's being condescending. But it is interesting because like kind of Kay is assuming that she knows that like natural systems are healthy, right? Like she makes this statement, this like kind of bold statement about like, well, obviously nothing natural could make this river be this, gross and kill the animals. Like that doesn't seem quote unquote natural, right? But there are, systems where that can happen, and yeah, I don't know. And obviously Fletcher handles it very badly, but
-1 charisma.
yeah.
But at the same time, Kay also probably knows this landscape better than Fletcher. And if this sort of thing had never happened before, she would be aware of that. Of course, maybe it's something like an earthquake that happens in 100-year cycles, and she might not be aware of that. So it just.
Yeah, and like also like her perspective is like 2 months ago, for like healthy fish were coming out of the river, and now they are not. So
Right.
like she hasn't been there, but she can see the direct consequences of what's happening based on the merchants in the town.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it was like when I because I'm always like checking out lodges and stuff for my business, and I never tell anyone why I'm there because I don't want people to treat me differently because I might bring clients. I just want them to treat me how they are. And I remember like I went to this lodge, and I was like talking talking to their guiding staff, and it was like, oh, here's some like common arthropods I've seen around here. Here's a little bit about their biology and like all of these things. And one of the guys had volunteered at one of the other eco lodges that I was volunteering in, so he knew me, and he knew like about like me and entomology and stuff. But I remember I was like talking to them about it at the dinner table, and the owner of the lodge literally stops and looks at me. He's like, "And what makes you an expert?" And I was like, "My master's degree in entomology." He was like, "Oh." And I was like, "Yeah, like I said about this thing that's living 2 steps outside your front door that might be interesting to talk to tourists about." I was like, how bold. Like, you have someone who obviously is like trying to help you out, you know, and like help out your staff. Like, what makes you an expert?
Yeah, I have tons of stories. I have tons of stories about that from industry, and you know, essentially running a SciComm project on the side. So like there were times when people would like give me just basically unsolicited advice, and I'm thinking of 1 or 2 specific people about like how to become a better science communicator. And I mean, it's like one of the people who I'm thinking of burned out so bad that it essentially turned like the entire, we'll just say, internet against them. And it's just, I can't go into more detail than that without, you know, naming names or specific incidents or anything like that. But it's very, very frustrating, speaking as somebody who is very, very highly skilled in more than one discipline, when those skills are ignored or diminished or belittled. And I think that's where a lot of sort of conflicts come from, because I sort of view this thing between me and Kay as sort of what happens between agricultural biologists and growers. Like, I don't know how to farm. If you give me a tractor and a combine and plot me down on a field and tell me to make money, I'm not going to do that. Like, that is not what I do. But at the same time, when it comes to sort of small-scale crop biology or pest biology, in many ways I've probably forgotten more than growers have ever like known. But at the same time, they're out there every day looking at stuff, and a lot of times when we first detect invasive species, it is with grower input and, you know, stuff like that. So it's one of those things where, you know, there's certainly dueling expertises and certainly dueling perspectives, neither one of which is more valid than the other. But
I see that like a lot here too. Like a lot of the local guides and stuff will just like talk about natural phenomenon that they've seen. Like, I don't know. Like for me, obviously, because I do bug stuff, you know, they'll be like, oh, like the cicadas. Like one of the things, for example, is that in the cloud forest, the locals will call the cicadas the rain bears because they buzz in the afternoon, and that tends to be when it rains. But it's like, and then like you ask them, they all know like when there's natural cycles of things as well. So I think that was really interesting for me when I first got there, because I was like, oh, it's the rainforest. It's the same all year round, but it's really not. There are like very distinct seasons, which I thought was really interesting. But like all the locals like know that stuff. They talk about like the natural phenomena that they see that are happening, and like they may not necessarily know like the geology specifically, or the ecology specifically. Like one of the things here all the time that I've heard a bazillion times is you can only cut bamboo in a certain moon phase, which I forget what it is. And I had that same face, Sheryl. I was like, it's 2018 and you have to cut it with the moon. Everyone here, and all like one of my friends who owns a lawn, she's like, I've lost money on it. It's true. It's a thing. It's really a thing here. And like I, as a scientist, like that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, right? But it's not. It's like a thing that has been passed down for thousands of years, and if you cut it the wrong moon, it gets full of holes. And I've had everyone from like builders to guides to archaeologists to like everybody. And it seems to me like if you cut it the wrong moon, then it's more prone to insect damage. But it's a thing. And I had that same, it took me 3 years to come to that conclusion. But like, I don't know. And so it's really interesting because I think what's happening with like Fletcher's like, I'm the scientist. And Kay's like, I'm kind of like the local person. And I've had that experience too. Like I've been on the academic side being like, that is total bullshit. But it's just, I don't know, like eventually it hasn't just been like, this where one person says this one thing like off the cuff, it's like literally everyone I've talked to and, people who build lodges are like, no, I've lost money over it because I didn't believe it. It's a thing. So, like, I don't know, I guess like, I feel Kay with the local knowledge thing and I feel Fletcher with the scientific knowledge because I've actually been on both sides.
Yeah, I have as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm sure all of us have. I mean, just there are that whole interaction I think is so real in that there are so many times where you have differences in knowledge and differences in perceived knowledge of yourself and the other person, and all of those things, play into, those interactions. And I think we as people are very bad at communicating knowledge and, assuming things about other people. I mean, I think as a whole, humanity is very bad at that. So I think, and it's also something that obviously all of us are very passionate about. I mean, like that's how we know each other, right? Is we all do, try and talk about science at least in some capacity or have in some capacity online and wanted to continue doing that, right? Like that's why we have a podcast or a live stream or whatever it's called. Yeah, I think that's a very real problem, right? Like that's like the root of so many different issues, like Dunning-Kruger, imposter syndrome, mansplaining, like all of these things are tied into this, like we're bad at communication as people, and we think we're better at it than we are, and knowledge gaps exist. And
well, but I mean, there is a right way and a wrong way to do it. I mean, not only tact, but also learning how to ask questions. I mean, it's not necessarily like binary. Either you screw up or you do it perfectly.
Yeah, I'd say there are a lot of right ways and a lot of wrong ways, right?
Yeah, and even in terms of expertise, one of the points that I'm trying to make, which I don't feel like I'm making well at all, is that there's always a gradient. There's academic expertise, practical expertise, knowledge that comes from experience, and what makes people an expert. You're going to have varying degrees of all of that. So, speaking
of gradients, I feel like we all had a different gradient of skepticism when Nancy was talking about bamboo.
Right?
Like it was like Ryan was like nodding along and Sheryl was just like, no, absolutely not. I feel like Joe and I were both a little bit in the middle, like,
So there is a reason why I'm a little bit in the middle for this, because there is somebody who I am currently writing a grant with that studies circadian rhythms in plants. So I actually have a genuine expert that I can ask about this.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, like, this is the experience that everyone seemingly has in Ecuador. I've heard various different reasons for why it is. ¿Cuándo cortas el bambú? ¿En la luna llena? Cuando no hay luna. Yeah. So like, ask the boyfriend in the corner who like cuts bamboo. So he says he cuts it at new moon. So if that helps.
No moon.
New moon.
New moon.
New moon. New moon is when it's worst.
No, it's better to cut it.
It's better to cut it. So it's better to cut it. It's better to cut it when there's essentially
no light.
as much light as you're going to get
No.
throughout the
Yeah,
entire.
and-
Yeah, that kind of checks out. I mean,
And then, so the idea is that if you cut it at the wrong moon, then it's more prone to insect damage.
yeah.
So.
And is the
But like, you know, like maybe the insects are just out in the new moon and are like chomping along, you know, because they can see.
wait, is new moon? No, full moon is the new moon is.
what?
The new moon is
right,
having
that's
no
what I meant,
moon
sorry.
out.
No.
Oh, okay.
So like at the full moon, when like the insects are out and chomping on it, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
like the new moon, you're like, because I've had that experience where when I do tours, the nights where there's the full moon, your light traps suck, but walking out in the forest, there's tons of stuff to see.
Yeah.
And then the opposite is true. So during the new moon, your light traps are really great, but you can walk down through the forest and there's not a thing to be found.
Huh.
So that's my experience that I found doing 4 years of tourism, doing night walks. It seems to match up with the bamboo thing. But here we have like local experiences, and I, as a scientist, have now caved to saying like this is a thing that is experienced. Why?
No, but
I don't know. Maybe someone should
at
come
the
here
same
and
time,
figure
you
it
can
out.
propose a mechanism.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, like with what I'm doing, you know, farmers have been looking at their plants for hundreds of years, and essentially what we're doing is we're looking at them in a very new way, one that people have never really looked at as intensively at before. And essentially what we're finding is that once you if you have weeds when the plants are at a certain stage, the damage is done.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody has really seen that before. Nobody really understands why. But you know, think about it like if you're a grower, like you're going to keep having plants sprout up. So it's kind of natural to assume that what you're seeing is due to competition, and not due to, you know, some intrinsic factor of the plant. And, you know, if I have a feeling that if I were to walk up to a grower and say, well, you know, it's probable that this could be differential pith expression. See, these plants that you're growing have 3 different isoforms, and one has a difference on the C terminus, which might render it, you know, less susceptible to phytochrome B interaction, which might make it less likely to respond to shade cues properly after they're gone. That doesn't mean anything to anyone. And I mean, you guys are all fantastic intellectuals, and does that mean anything to you guys?
I understood some of those things.
A little bit of it from that one plant bio class I took, or one plant.
Those were words.
Exactly. So it's possible to communicate these ideas that are opaque even to other experts. But if I were to go out into the field and say, well, you know, we've actually taken a look at this, we knocked out the weeds after the stage at which you normally treat them with herbicides, and there was no recovery in yield. And we have some ideas as to why this is. You know, there might be some signaling differences, but ultimately it's something that we really have to check out. And this could really help you out because we'll know exactly why this particular stage is so important. Now, is that a little bit more understandable?
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you're going in there and you're bringing new ideas into this group, essentially what you're doing is, or essentially what my strategy with that second one is to communicate that in a way that validates the expertise of the other party. Because in this hypothetical scenario, you know, I'm using language they can understand, and I'm relating it back to the things that they are an expert in. I'm relating it back to what they know. And that sort of thing can certainly help reduce conflicts. And in my experience.
Anybody else have any thoughts on conflict, or should we get back into the conflict?
So many more thoughts, but I think we can save them for now.
Yeah.
Okay, certainly something we can discuss again in the future. Yeah, so action brings us back to, I guess, Fletcher, you said you were collecting samples of the river water?
Yeah, I'm probably going to make sure I have at least, I don't know, I have that like handful of vials in my bag. Probably like at least 2 samples of water with the like film, and at least 2 where I find some kind of like gyre in a riffle portion of the river by the bank to collect some of the like foam that's sitting there, so I can have bits of both.
Okay. None of these are the vial that has the sturge eggs in it, right?
No.
And are you taking thorough notes about where you're collecting your samples, your little field journal?
Yes. I'm describing, like...
You don't have GPS coordinates, but yeah.
But describing, what I'm collecting and how far we at least, like, walked along the river, that sort of thing. But
yeah.
as much as I can.
He's consulting his old-timey pedometer.
Yeah. And you said you were standing on the bank, so you're sort of carefully trying to lean to get these without actually falling in or stepping in the water, I take it?
Yeah, like crouch down trying to get... Yeah, there's always snags and stuff along the sides of water where there should be a lot of that foam being produced. And if you walk along a river or stream long enough, it goes between riffle and run segments. So in a calmer run portion, there'd probably be a lot more of just the like film on the top of the water. So that's probably where I would collect like the filmy water from.
Awesome, yeah. And are you taking any precautions to keep your hand from coming in contact with the water, or are you just sort of scooping with the vials?
I don't really have like gloves like as part of my gear. I don't believe. I pretty much just have like the robe that I wear.
The worst scientist ever.
Where is your PPE?
I'm a wizard. I'm a wizard, not a scientist.
I mean, honestly, there's apparently a guy, and I'm not going to say what university he's at, but there's apparently a well-known weed scientist that applies paraquat without any protective equipment.
Ooh. I know a couple of guys who do that aren't dead.
Paraquat, of course, being literally the worst herbicide. So, yeah.
Neat. All right, well, you got no gloves, so you just sort of scooping quick and hoping for the best?
Yeah, I think it's like, I know I'm not going to be able to get the whole thing filled up, so it's kind of like holding the part of the end of the tube so I can scoop down in and not be touching the water, because I know I'm not going to be able to get as much in there as I would want.
Yeah, so they're not exceptionally full, but you do get these 4 samples, 2 of the sort of iridescent sheen or slick, and 2 with some of the foam. Anybody else collecting any other sort of samples or doing anything while Fletcher is collecting the water samples?
Nope, Kay is too busy brooding.
Lucanus is just focusing on his job as a bodyguard.
That's good.
Staying kind of equidistant between Cedric and Fletcher and Kay, and he has some opinions about this. He thinks that Fletcher's being the asshole, but his job is to keep everyone as safe as he can. So he's maintaining professional composure and doing his job.
Are you saying that Fletcher needs to go on Reddit/AMTA later?
Oh God. I would absolutely love to read the D&D version of Am I the Asshole?
Oh, we should make one.
That would be really funny.
Oh my god, that would be so funny. You just like fill it with like goblins and orcs being like, "Was I the asshole?"
So I slaughtered a whole village full of people, and my party says that I'm the asshole, but I feel like I didn't really do anything wrong.
But we found some really good loot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would, by the way, I would just love to hear like a conflict from like two sides on that.
Yeah.
Well,
Like-
I guess I'm not finishing my homework because that sounds like a way better use of my time.
I pickpocketed all of my party, and they're upset about it.
But I got more XP because I'm the
Yeah.
rogue, so. Yeah. Okay.
Cedric is standing up on the bank yelling advice at Fletcher while Fletcher is like scooping, like he's like trying to be helpful. It's like,
Hashtag helping.
yeah.
Speaking of the Dunning-Kruger effect,
Scoop faster!
Yeah.
Who has the nets? Who has the nets? Who?
Pretty sure it's K.
Are you Kay carrying all the nets?
see, now Kay negotiated for them, but I'm pretty sure you guys handed them off to Lucanus because he was like, well, I can carry things.
That sounds true, because he's strong.
Oh,
And they're heavy.
then since I didn't know that I have them, they are probably back in my room
I'm
right
sure
now,
we
which is
no.
good
I'm
because
sure
we
we made
have
sure that you had. They're
we
big
decided
enough that we would have noticed if you didn't have
not use them.
them. They're really big. We would have noticed if you didn't have
The
them.
guy used them to pull fish out of the river and realized that they were bad fish. So clearly the river wouldn't just eat the net because he's used it in the river.
I'm sorry, I forgot that I have them. That's really all. That's really all he says.
Crap! Everybody just started lagging.
And I mean, he was kind of drunk too.
So are you going to do sets?
Well,
We
obviously,
don't have one. We don't have
Oh,
one.
okay. All right.
There's gonna be, try to take, like, if we can cast it out and get something from the river, I'd have like a fresh sample of something that could survive in the river, even if it pulled up something that was dead from the river. Like, yeah. When we can't do that. Yeah.
Does
I'm
anybody
gonna-
know how to win it?
I do not.
I
am
don't.
going to pull up a little bit of the dead plants and put them in a vial.
Do you have to touch the water to do that?
Nope, they're growing up out of the like saturated sediment, so I don't really have to go in the water. I can pull it up and put it in.
So
It's all like riparian stuff.
You should eat them.
Hey Cedric.
no, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you better not fool me again.
Hey,
But
Fletcher,
you fooled yourself.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, the Who starts playing in the background. Won't get fooled again.
So you guys were lagging
I
for
can't
just
sing that song.
for a second. What did you decide about the nets?
We decided that we didn't have them because Lucanus was too drunk to remember them when he was packing.
All right. Okay.
In reality, we had to track down which character had the nets, but I'm just using Lucanus's newfound alcoholism as an excuse because I didn't know that I had them.
Okay. That works.
Hey, Fletcher, you've used that word riparian at least twice in the game now. What does that mean?
Well, riparian refers to the strips along any body of water. It's usually more flowing water like streams and rivers, but it's that transition zone where you're going from like purely land into where you're getting into the saturated sediment and then the actual water where there's water on top and the vegetation that grows in that zone. So that's like the riparian zone. And so riparian vegetation is what specializes in growing there. So like the most like iconic thing people would usually think of are like cattails, the typha species. But it also includes a lot of the like riparian grasses, like what grow around like the Chesapeake Bay and all those sorts of things, where there's still this these emergent plants that can grow in the sediment, grow through the water, and then extend up in the air.
And even trees like willows that like to have their feet wet.
Yes. Yeah. Willows, and sycamores, like our actual eastern United States sycamore, not the ones in cities that are basically all hybrids. Those are not sycamores. Those are London plane trees. You also find those all along by water as well.
And
what about like mangroves? Are they their own thing?
Huh?
Are mangroves their own thing, or are they also considered riparian?
I think mangroves would be considered riparian, although
that would be. They kind of
make their own environment.
It's very brackish marine environment.
I feel like that's an estuary.
I don't know.
Estuary?
Yeah, estuary.
So now, interesting fact about agriculture. So rice is definitely a riparian grass.
Mm-hmm.
Wild rice, those kind of long black grains that I think are better than actual rice. Those are not riparian. They actually grow pretty much underwater, as I understand it.
Did you guys know that
completely different genre of plants? Wild rice is not. It's actually a domesticated thing, so the wild thing is a little bit of a misnomer. But it actually requires water, whereas rice is basically something that would grow on a riverbank.
Yeah, there's actually been some efforts to reintroduce the wild rice species here in Maryland to the riverbanks.
I hope they're successful because I love wild rice. In fact, I might actually make some tomorrow. I have some in my pantry right now. Yeah.
Okay, so Fletcher, you've got 2 vials of iridescent.
2 water, 2 foam, 1 vegetation.
1 plant. Okay, cool. Yep. Cedric is quote unquote helping. Kay is brooding. Lucanus is keeping watch. Anything else?
Lucanus is probably a little too much into keeping watch because he's kind of not happy with this situation, but he feels it would be unprofessional to do anything, and he's just sort of angrily hoping that somebody or something comes up to fight them.
I love the idea that you're like, my barbarian is worried about being non-professional, so...
So angry, you want to hit something? I had that exact experience on Thursday after stats class.
Ooh.
Relatable.
Yeah.
We went and played racquetball because we were upset.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Been there.
You know what? I don't know if we should trade stories about statistics as something that, like, on the thing or behind the scenes, but we should definitely complain about statistics at some point.
Yeah. All right. So, Fletcher, are you gathering any more samples? Do you guys want to go upriver, downriver? What are you doing now?
Without a net, I don't know. There's no way to collect unless I see an animal along the bank, which would probably be dead. There's no way to get anything out of the river without the net. So.
Okay. Give me another perception check. You've been walking for a while, so.
Yeah.
Should we all roll?
If you're actively looking for stuff in the river, then sure.
No.
Away, far enough away that she can, that she can't hear anyone, but still is in eyesight and just sits on the grass.
Okay.
I got a 6 plus a 4 bonus.
All right. Were you looking in the river, or are you keeping an eye out for bad guys?
Well, I'm keeping an eye out for bad guys, but that also includes scanning the river, so I wasn't sure.
Okay. Yeah, you don't see anything super interesting. Fletcher?
Only a 13.
Yeah, again, there's nothing super interesting going on. Like again, this river is really wide, so like, as you look across it, there might be some things kind of floating, but they're really far away.
And
Yeah.
we can't exactly swim to get them.
I mean,
No.
you could certainly try. That was my best Mercer.
Oh my god. One of our characters just dies while trying to swim across this river.
To
Hey,
get samples.
I
Just
Like the
taking
biologist
ongoing
do.
damage. Like,
my very thorough notes included ongoing damage for if someone got into the water for some reason and or got swept away, and the rules for how to rescue them. So,
Yeah.
yep.
I feel, yeah. There's
But you decided not to
Definitely.
do that, so
there's definitely biologists who have died getting samples.
Oh yeah.
yep.
hmm
Alrighty. So yeah, it's kind of, mid-late afternoon. You did a bunch of walking and, collecting things. So yeah, it's getting kind of late. It's like, early dinner time-ish.
Oh. Did you guys bring
Can-
camping equipment?
I did.
Okay. Good.
I brought snacks.
Oh, I didn't bring any snacks.
Should we like, can Lucanus
Back.
forage or hunt or something?
Why don't we just go back?
Do you have, like...
Yeah, we can just get back late.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
just get back late.
All right. Do you?
I
do
mean,
we
are
wanna
we
head
are we
back to town?
spending the day at the river, or
Why? What else are
We
we
just-
gonna do here?
We just did.
Yeah. I think we decided that we are gonna take these samples back to town and see if anybody there can ID them, or we also talked about reaching out to maybe the Abixians or some of the local farmers and asking them if they'd noticed anything. Do we want to head back to town first?
I want to head back to town.
Yep.
All right. Let's head back to town then.
Okay, so you're gonna head back and just walk in the dark?
Yeah.
Okay. Lucanus, do you have low light vision?
I do.
Cedric, you have dark vision?
Yes.
Fletcher, okay.
I think. Hold on.
I know Fletcher doesn't have anything vision.
No.
You have light vision.
Yeah.
Like-
Humans don't. Yeah. Humans have
Yeah.
very regular vision.
I love thinking of my vision as light vision.
Lucanus is, by the way, as
I have
they're
dark
walking-
vision.
You
as
have
they're
dark
walking,
vision?
he's just
Okay.
letting like the branches like hit Fletcher, and like he's kind of like if there's like thorn brushes that look like they're just going to be painful but not actually damaging, he's just sort of letting him stumble into them. Fletcher
Harsh.
is not. Fletcher
Now
is
who's the
not
asshole?
having a
Yeah.
good time, like
Harsh.
walking back.
Well, so it is a grassland, so there aren't really branches to smack him in the face. There might be a
Oh.
pricker bush every once in a while, but I get where you're going with this. That's harsh. Kay, you also have dark vision? Well, ain't that special? Is anybody gonna say anything about needing light as you walk back, as it gets less light?
I'm just
I mean-
following behind.
Okay.
There's a moon.
There's
Right?
a moon. Yes, there is what phases the moon right now. Hold on. Wait for it.
I like that we haven't talked about this point, the moon, at any point so far, so you could pick anything, and it wouldn't be like, no, 2 weeks ago you said it was 3/4 waxing gibbous.
No, it's almost full right now.
Yeah.
Full moons happen on the 10th day of every month. I already had that picked out.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay.
so
But
convenient.
also, Peter, to be fair,
Yeah.
3/4 of the party
To be
has
fair.
To be
low
fair.
light vision.
Yeah.
To be fair.
To be fair.
Mm-hmm. But yes, there is a moon, and it is grasslands, so like there's light.
Yeah.
Even Fletcher can still like pick out the silhouettes of all of you in the party. Yeah.
It doesn't even occur to Cedric that any of you would have trouble seeing at night. So, so he's not being a dick by like, he's just oblivious to Fletcher stumbling,
Awesome.
occasionally stepping in holes.
Okay. Yeah, and you're just walking
Jay,
back.
like, would Jay and like Azzy have vision where they could see at night?
Oh goodness, now I have to go through the thing and look.
Like we're
Hold
learning
on.
some stuff.
I don't actually know how their races work.
Where is Azzy in my thingy? Oh.
Now, does Azzy appear human? I thought he was. I was thinking he was human.
You got the highest sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once. Cedric, you got the highest perception the one time you guys met Azzy, and you did notice that his cloak seemed to move even when he was standing still, but that is the only thing you noticed about him, and I don't think anybody else noticed it.
Sure, but hey, he's a human with a magic cloak, so you know.
And
He's Doctor Strange.
yes, Kay, he has the same dark vision you do, as he does.
And does Jay?
I
Or,
don't have it
probably
written.
weird either.
I don't have it written down that Jay does. I don't think Jay does.
Okay.
But yeah. Woo. Um.
She's rolling.
Mysterious.
What? Anyway. Yeah. So you guys are just heading back through the grasslands.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Probably pretty silently, except maybe Cedric trying to speak.
Yeah. Also, Cedric clinks as he walks, so
Yeah,
there's that.
How are you intentionally trying to be stealthy, or are you just, not talking because everybody's angry at one another?
I feel like Cedric is trying to make conversation with
Lucanus
everybody.
is very used to sort of moving very quietly at night, so that's a habit that doesn't exactly die. So
Sure.
he's moving pretty stealthily.
Okay. Is anybody else intentionally trying to be stealthy?
No, Kay's too busy, stuck in her own mind about everything to really know much about what's happening around her.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Fletcher. So what Fletcher did was very much the kind of thing he did while in school, towards people and even to professors, and it's why he would get in trouble all the time. Is being an ass about things and acting that way.
It's Leviosa.
Basically, that is very much how he always acted. But it's been enough time that now, even though it's yeah, at this stage, and Fletcher, even if he still probably thinks well, I'm right, whatever. It's been enough time that now he's now he feels he can recognize when it's happened, and he's so he's kind of okay, that was kind of embarrassing. I feel shitty about that, but he doesn't want to be the person to say anything about it. So now he's not talking, not because he's still mad or worked up about anything, but he's hopefully we just never speak about this again.
Okay. Awkward silence. So.
Yeah, that's a bad policy.
Yeah.
But
so is there again, you guys talked about this when you were coming
down the line.
when you were coming across in the daytime that you were just sort of walking in a clump. Are you still walking in a clump? Is there someone in the front? Fletcher, it sounded like you were maybe following behind everyone else to be able to follow their shadows. What's going on with the way you're moving?
Yeah, I feel like at night you move in a line, especially when you're not really talking.
Okay.
Feels right to me.
Yeah, we're probably beating a path.
Okay.
Probably Kay, Lucanus, Cedric, Fletcher.
Yeah.
Okay. Lucanus, Cedric, Fletcher. Okay. In that case, can I have...
If Kay wants to be in the front, does she feel safe enough?
Well, actually, I feel
so grumpy. All she wants to do is get back.
So I feel like Lucanus would actually be in the back, somewhat close to Fletcher, acting more as a guide.
Okay.
You said you were like, you specifically said you weren't
Yeah, you
doing
just
that.
said you were being a
just
dick to Fletcher.
Yeah.
You were
Yeah,
like
that's
letting branches
true.
hit him in the face, which means you're in front of him.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, not like too far in front of him. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like he would be close to the back, but he would definitely be close enough to intervene should something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because normally the bodyguard walks in the back to, because that's the least defensible position. But right now he's kind of pissed at Fletcher, so he's leading him through obstacles that are a little bit painful. But he's also not going to let him be the first one attacked. So
Okay.
Yeah.
So is the order then K, Cedric, Lucanus, Fletcher?
yeah.
Okay. In that case, yeah, can everybody give me a perception check?
Yep. I was like, why?
She's like, I'm waiting for it.
Like,
I got a 19.
I got a 20.
Wow.
Wait, what are we rolling?
I got a 21.
Everyone cut out.
Perception.
Perception. Sorry.
With my
Perception,
bonus,
okay.
that's a 23. Or no.
Holy
That's
smokes.
23? 24. Sorry, 24.
I got a 21.
Wow. Hyper perceptive, even in the dark.
Well,
Yeah,
the reason why
12.
we're all so perceptive right now is because nobody wants to talk to one another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes sense.
Lucanus
All of
in the
you can
back
kind
of
of
his
stay in
mind,
the
he
dark.
wants to talk to Kay about her trauma, but he doesn't want to bring up his. Nobody wants to talk to Cedric or Fletcher.
Whoa, I feel like Cedric has been the least annoying today. For a
I know,
change.
right?
And the most empathetic.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
impressive.
I feel like
Good job.
he's really proud of himself for turning over a new leaf, but he's also very flummoxed and feeling helpless because he can't resolve all the conflicts that are going on.
Flummoxed.
He's having a hard day.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, with all of those high perception checks, they don't actually get the drop on you. They definitely noticed you, but you also noticed them as they are running up towards you. There are two large humanoid shapes running up towards your group, and I need y'all to roll initiative.
Oh my god, if these are two orcs.
Two of the party are going to go catatonic, and it'll
Yeah.
all be over.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I got a 1.
Oh no! Well, don't
Kay
you have
does
a
go catatonic.
you have a thing to add to your initiative, don't you?
Do I?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should at least have a dex. You add your dex bonus.
Yeah, at least your dex bonus, but I thought you also had a feat.
Do I have a feat?
I thought we gave you improved initiative.
Improved initiative. Yeah, how does that work?
That gives you I think it's a +4. You might want to look it up quick.
Yeah.
In what?
I got a 16, by the way.
I'll look it up.
And I don't think I have any bonuses in this area.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a +4, Nancy.
Oh, thanks, friend.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a +4, and then whatever your dexterity is. Okay,
All
so
right.
anybody have an initiative over 20? Nope. Okay. 15 to 20.
I had an 18.
I have 16.
Whoa, hold on. What was that?
18, 16.
18, 16. 18 for Cedric. And 16 for Lucanus.
Yep.
Okay. 10 to 15.
I have an
Really?
11.
Okay, you have an 11. Okay.
Mhm.
So that's 11 for Fletcher. And then, Kay, what did you wind up with?
An 8.
An 8.
That's pretty solid, considering you rolled a 1.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, 1, plus all of these things.
Wait, does my
okay.
improved initiative always happen? Or only on a 1?
No, it always happens. And if that wasn't a good clue, y'all should log in to Roll20.
I'm already logged in. Ha!
Marvelous.
I'm in.
You're in! Alright, so you should see yourselves on a map with some humanoid creatures running towards you. Cedric, you are second in line. And these humanoid creatures you can see are coming at you sort of around this clump of shrubs. But you are up first, Cedric.
Wait, so improved initiative, I always add +4? Oh, well.
Yes.
New level, new
That's why we gave it to you, because you're the rogue, because if you attack a creature before they've gone in the first round, they are technically flat-footed, and that means that you get your sneak attack bonus, and that is one of the reasons why rogues should always want to go first in initiative.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I tried hard.
That's fine. Go for it, Cedric.
Okay, so at this point, can I see what it is, or does it just look like a humanoid shape? I mean, like, it's only like 30 feet away from me, and I have dark vision now. Can I see what it is?
And the dark vision is to 60 feet.
I think so.
Uh-huh.
Poor Fletcher is literally going to be shooting.
It should be to 60 feet.
Yes.
Yeah, so you can see it's a humanoid figure. I want to say they're pretty tall. Yeah, they're tall. Probably like around the height of like a lot of the Abixians you met. They're tall and very like muscular or broad, and it's got like reddish brownish fur and kind of like a canid head face.
Okay.
Also a battle axe.
Oh, all right, cool. And it's running towards me?
Yep.
All right, I'm going to assume hostile intentions, and I'm going to run I'm going to run to here, like and kind of try and like block this one from getting closer, any
5,
closer
10,
to
15, 20, yeah, that's 25. Okay, do your thing.
I can't I don't have permission to move
You
my
should. Controlled by coffee. It says it's controlled by you.
Oh, why isn't it letting me?
I will move you. You want to get right up in its face?
I want to get right there.
Right there in its face.
Peter, is the menu in the left, do you have that selected on the right thing? The like black arrow for the select move mode?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's giving me, it's working now.
Okay, well,
yeah.
there you are.
And I'm gonna hit it with my warhammer.
Mm-hmm. Do it.
That's 18 plus 2.
And 18 plus 2 is 20?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you hit it.
Yay.
Aww.
I rolled a 1 for damage, so that's 2
You
damage.
rolled a 1 for damage.
2 damage.
So that's 2 damage. Okay.
And I yell out, I go, watch out, y'all!
Okay.
Just to make sure, you know, everybody saw it.
2 damage on the blue knoll. Okay. Nice. Next. That's what I thought. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. The red marked one is gonna run right up to where Kay is. She's like, and take a swing with its battle axe. That is a 13.
And I compare that to what?
Your armor class.
I have a 16.
Oh, it misses! She hears Cedric yell, watch out, y'all, and sees this thing come pounding up towards her through the grass. The grass is rustling on all sides, and it's the blade of the battle axe shining in the moonlight, and she just ducks right under it, because this thing is real tall compared to her. So it does not get a hit on you. Lucanus, you're up next.
All right, so Lucanus sees his friend getting attacked, and he is going to flank that thing. So I would have to move, like, right here, right?
Right where?
Right
Yes.
there.
Yeah, if you can draw a straight line through the enemy between you and your friend, that is flanking. You are correct.
Yep. All right.
Marvelous.
So...
That gives you a +2.
Yeah. Let's see. 16 again.
That'll hit.
All right. So, and he's using his great sword,
Great.
and I got an 11.
Whoa! Holy crap. Okay. You hit it a lot. Okay, for the second time in recent memory, a bad guy comes up, swings at you with a weapon, you duck out of the way just in time, and then all of a sudden Lucanus is there across the bad guy from you, wailing on it. Although this time he did not chop its head clean off.
Oh.
It's a little high. This thing is taller than Lucanus.
Wow.
Just like the Abixians were taller than you, this thing is also taller than you by probably a foot. Yeah, it's big. But you take a sizable chunk. There is just reddish-brown fur flying.
Yeah, well, so, like, does the +8 on the greatsword, like, have anything for the rage?
Did you rage first?
Yeah.
You didn't say that.
Oh, I didn't?
Nope.
You have to say you're raging first.
Nope.
Shit, I thought I did.
You only get so many rages per day. You have to say that first.
Okay, all right. I thought
right.
I said it,
But you're raging, and that was your attack with your rage condition, I assume. And
Yeah.
also the damage with the rage condition. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. The +8. The +8 is probably your 2 attack. So you're
it's for the greatsword. It's the
Right,
modifier
yeah, that's
for the
your-
greatsword.
right.
And
That's
then
your
I
2
have-
attack.
What?
That's your 2 attack, right? Like it's the attack bonus, right? So you roll a d20 and add that.
Okay, so I roll a d20, and
Which you did, and you said you had 16.
yeah, so I had 16, and then the basic bonus is 2, so would that be 18? No.
The attack bonus for greatsword, I think you said, is 8.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Add 8 to whatever roll a d20 for your attack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you
So
hit.
16, like what, 4?
But you this
Okay, well,
yeah.
the reason I ask is because the crit on the greatsword is like 20, so if I'm rolling a 16 and I have an 8 bonus, that would put me well
No,
over that?
the crit is what's on the die, not what your math
It's the base roll.
is.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, I wasn't sure about that.
Yes.
Okay.
So you're good.
Okay.
But yeah, you take a chunk out of it. Fur is flying. This shrill, yipping howl. And it is Fletcher's turn.
I really can't see very much. Here's what Fletcher's gonna do. He's gonna move over here, and because he's not a total dick, he's going to cast resistance on K, which gives +1 to all saving throws.
Aww.
Nice.
Aw. And that lasts for, is that concentration? Does it last for a certain amount of time?
Oh jeez, I write that down. I will get it out of the book really quick if you want to go to the next
Okay.
round. Next
Cool.
person.
Thank you. Yeah, just keep track of however it's supposed to last. And,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, next up is the knoll that Cedric just hit. And it is going to attack you with its battle axe.
Bring it on.
Whoops, that hit my microphone, or my cords. 13.
Does not hit.
Does not hit. It also swings at you and does not hit. Everybody wishes they had a DM like me who rolls like crap. Anyway, now it's Kay's turn.
I'm getting the fuck out. Espera, let's see. 1, 2, 3. I like how I told you to wait in Spanish.
Yeah, I appreciated that. Thank you.
I can 1, 2, 3. I can go 30 feet, right? Which
You
is
can if you
just in a
leave
straight line.
if you leave the knoll's reach using more than a 5-foot step, it will get an attack of opportunity.
Wait, what does that mean?
If you leave its range of attack by more than a 5-foot step, it will hit you, or it will try to hit you.
Lucanus, why didn't you cut its head off?
He can't do that every time.
Tried.
Because I'm not rolling for him
I
this
was gonna
time.
say, yeah.
Can you use crossbow point blank?
No, not
you
without
have,
the
like,
point blank feet.
Don't you have like a big stabby sword?
Yeah, you have a
Yeah, but I
sickle.
suck at using it because I have
And
no
you also
strength.
have a dagger that Lucanus gave you once upon a time.
Yeah,
Yes,
you have a
but that
sickle.
implies that I can actually, use it.
You have a sickle and you have a dagger, and you also get a bonus to your attack right now because you are flanking the creature with
Yeah.
Lucanus, and if you hit it, you would get to use your sneak attack damage, I think maybe for the first time ever.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, there's so much stuff happening. Sure, I guess I'll do one of those things. I'll use the sickle.
Okay.
Oh, I erased that because my attack bonus is now 0 instead of negative, so that's
Correct.
exciting. All right. Okay. I forget how to do this. All right. I rolled to see if I hit it first, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Do I add anything to that?
If your attack bonus is currently 0, then no, you just roll the 20.
I got a 9.
That is not enough.
I'm not surprised.
Sorry. But you tried. You can also still move if you want.
But then it'll hit me. I guess it'll hit me anyway.
You can take a 5-foot step, and it won't hit you
Can I
for
take a
leaving.
5-foot step diagonally here? Or is that...
Yep.
Okay. Take a 5-foot step.
That was good. Alrighty. Back to the top of the round. Cedric.
Alright, I'm gonna swing at it again.
Okay, do that.
19.
19.
Oh, wow.
That hits.
Alright, let's see if I can do a little bit more damage this time.
Mm-hmm.
5.
5 points of damage. You cut a deeper chunk basically in its thigh areas where you're reaching right now, and it howls in pain. Blood spurting and whatnot. Spurt, spurt.
Spurt, spurt.
I'm assuming you're staying there.
Yes.
Okay. Well, the red knoll has been hit by Lucanus and is angry about it. So it's going to take a swing at Lucanus. What's your armor class again?
Let's see. Armor class is 15, and then there's a +3 armor bonus and a +2 dexterity modifier.
Wait, you said your armor class is 15.
Yeah.
Yes, those things are just added together to get to that 15. But it rolled a 19.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, you're all right. But yeah, it rolled a 19, so that hits. So now we will do some damage.
Damage.
Damage. I need
Damage.
I need a D8. Where's my 8? Where do I have an 8? I need an 8. Okay. That's 6 points of damage. Yep. Okay. And it is now your turn.
My turn?
Retaliate.
Oh, yeah. Lucanus is pissed. One might even say he's raging,
Mm.
which he was last turn. Let's see. I have an 18 I'm doing good in combat for some reason. Jesus.
Maybe because it's like the thing that your character does.
Yeah, it's the thing you do.
Yeah. And then great sword, yeah, +8. So
Okay, so wait, you rolled an 18 and then +8?
for the great sword, right? The bonus great sword.
What did you get on your die?
18.
Wow, you roll really well. Yeah, so 18 + 8 is a very high number. It is higher than the creature's AC, so you hit it. Roll some damage.
Roll that
8.
double bean footage.
How much?
8.
Whew. You take another slice, and it just cuts right across the chest, and there's all of this blood everywhere, and the thing just crashes to the ground in front of you. DED. Dead.
Dead. All right, so I yell over at Cedric. Cedric, you doing okay?
Awesome. Am I allowed to respond before my turn, or?
Yes, you can respond for your turn.
Could use a little help over here.
All right, I'll be over there in a moment.
Cool, thanks. Love you. Bye.
You say "love you, bye"? This isn't a text.
Sword emoji.
A cleric should always tell a barbarian that he loves him in a completely platonic manner.
Not platonic. Ooh.
That was a
Freudian
mistake
slip?
on my part, but he
Yeah,
should always
Freudian
tell his
slip.
barbarian that he loves him because he's going to be depending on him and probably healing him in a moment.
Fletcher, you ready to go?
Oh, okay. So the one closest is gone. I don't know if I can even... It's dark. I can't do anything.
Veronica says you should always say "love you, bye" in combat.
It's my new policy. Ooh, look at you. Measuring distance.
Yeah, I gotta see what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Sheryl, so I'm assuming our range thing is going to have a penalty because it's so dark and I don't have any kind of dark vision?
And also, if you're shooting at the blue one, you're shooting into melee, so there will be many penalties.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is not as dark as it could be, but it is very dark.
Yeah.
How do you measure distance?
With the thing that looks like a comb in a circle.
Yeah.
It's a ruler, but I thought it was a comb for a long time.
It's a circle with a little line on the side.
Yeah,
Oh, 'cause
it's
I
under the
got
magnifying
snap
glass.
to center.
Yeah.
Snap to center, no snapping.
Yeah, snap
show
to center
centers.
versus snap to
I-
corner, yeah. This is what I've been trying to figure out what I can do because
Also, those shrubs are pretty shrubby, so they might be hard to see through. And if you try to move through them, it will be difficult terrain, so they will take extra movement.
so if I went, let's see. If I went to here, am I crossing? I'm not really crossing through any brush. If I went
Right,
straight
yeah.
to the left 30 feet.
Yeah, you'd have to hop over the dead body and push past Lucanus, but you can do that. You just parkour a little bit.
I went over there. Can I do if I do my free action of yelling to Cedric, close your eyes?
Yeah,
Is he able to then close his eyes?
not until his turn.
Not until his turn. How can I?
I know what you're about to cast, I think, but not until his turn. Because he already spent these 6 seconds yelling at Lucanus.
Damn it! I knew I shouldn't have told you I
Well-
loved you. I'm gonna go blind because of it.
So right now, the whole Ralph Wiggum, I'm in danger meme. That's like Cedric, pure through and through. If anybody else knows what that means.
So how is this? this creature, the knoll or something.
You could make that assumption, having read as much as you have. And you also heard that there are gnolls in the grasslands.
Yeah, I remembered hearing that. What weapon does it have?
It's wielding a battle axe. Or
It
they
also has a...
Yeah, the one that you saw close up was wielding a battle axe, and it looks like from the shine in the moonlight this one is too. They each have a battle axe and a very large shield.
Oh, okay. Then, let's see, a shield. I'm going to... I think the shield is metal. Is it reflecting a lot of light? Like it looks pretty obvious in the moonlight.
Yep.
So it sounds like that's a pretty easy target and is helping that thing defend itself.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to cast Grease, targeting the shield to try to get it to drop its shield.
Interesting.
So
That's
means
very clever.
The gnoll has to perform a reflex check. Let's see. It's a reflex saving throw. It says it's a reflex save.
Well, yes, but oh, I see. No.
Yeah, so the object is affected by the creature's reflex to the spell to try to move the object out of the way.
Right. Okay, I see.
Yeah, so it's not, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I see. Sorry, I was reading the first part and I was like, it's not a solid surface, but then it says you can also use it to code an item. Clever.
Yeah, so if it's on the ground, then it's a reflex check and a balance check, but if it's just an object, it's a reflex to try to move it out of the way.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So the gnoll is making a reflex, blah, blah, blah. Against your spell DC, I take it?
Yeah, it must be.
And what is that? It rolled a 16.
Oh, it's 13.
Oh, okay. So your grease goes wide, splats somewhere on the ground, but does not hit the shield.
Damn.
Anything else? Oh no,
Nope.
you moved and cast, so you're good.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That was really clever, though. I did like that. Well, so you just cast a spell at it.
Yes.
And it's not very happy about that. So I think it's actually gonna run over here and try to take a swing at you, which means that Cedric, you first get an attack of opportunity.
Yeah.
Excellent. Oh.
No.
Oh? What's oh?
5.
A 5. Okay. Wait, that wasn't a 1, was it?
No, this is
No.
3 plus 2.
Okay. Alright.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Alright. Eric, hi, Eric. Eric says that Noel is going to shield surf away from battle Breath of the Wild style. Which is not
by
a
the
bad
way,
idea.
wouldn't that be an awesome animation?
Yes. It's just like the Chevy Chase with like the metal like disc.
Yeah,
Christmas
Vacation.
Yeah.
Did it crit and it's gonna kill me?
I got a 20, I'm so sorry.
Oh no! Oh no!
Wait, I have to confirm it first, hold on. Oh, whoops, yep, okay. Sorry, Fletcher. Oh, and Lucanus knows that a 3 with a battle, or that a crit with a battle axe is no good because it's a ×3.
Yeah.
Sorry, Fletcher. Why is it always Fletcher? Oh, it rolled a 1 on its damage now. So that's a 3 × 3 for 9 points of damage, Fletcher, on that crit from the gnoll. Sorry.
Oh, what?
I'm down.
And that's literally best case scenario, right? Like
Yes.
this couldn't have been lower than that.
No.
You were so close to just being dead, right?
I'm at -1 health.
Are you seriously?
I'm a level 2 wizard.
I know. You're just like, oh my god.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Fuck.
Of course I had to be on Fletcher. Oh no.
Oh.
Oops.
He like literally kills one of our party members.
Oh,
But
man.
almost killing Kay wasn't good enough. I know
well,
we're all
hey,
mad at him, but
It's your turn.
all right. I'm gonna measure. Can I go there?
Huh?
Can you see the 30 feet? Does that work?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep,
I'm
you
gonna
can
move
get there.
there then, and then Eric, and then shoot at the thing with my crossbow.
You can. And guess what? There's no penalty because he's not engaged with anyone right now.
No, I'm on the ground. You really can't hit me.
Fletcher is not threatening him, so
Also not flanking. Yeah.
also not flanking. but
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And you know
God,
what? And
that's
I'm
like
at,
a
like,
terrible
I'm at like the
approach.
max
Okay,
health that
so
I
I
could
got a
have
17.
when I leveled up too, and it's
Oh,
still
did you really? Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh man.
not enough.
I got a 17.
You have a 17 to hit. That is a hit.
Yeah. I'm gonna roll.
Roll some
One.
damage.
I'm gonna roll a d6 of damage. For Fletcher! I got a 4.
You got a 4. Okay. Your arrow thwing into its shoulder, and it just like and turns around and looks at you with a growl.
Awesome.
Awesome. Hey, Cedric, it's your turn.
All right. Cedric, after seeing Fletcher fall, is gonna dash forward, and not actually dash, but you know,
Yeah.
metaphorically dash,
Mhm.
up to right beside this knoll, like ducking under its line of sight as it glares at Kay, and grabbing like Fletcher's arm as he lies.
Wait,
on the
wait.
ground.
Where did you move to? From?
There.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, okay. So you're ducking up and grabbing Fletcher.
Yeah. And I'm gonna cast Cure Light Wounds.
Okay.
For 4.
Give me one hot second.
Okay.
Sorry. I have to look up something because...
Because Fletcher's dead.
Well, because Fletcher died the way he did. Because he literally went from full to empty. I was trying to remember if that was a thing. No.
I
No,
thought it
it's
was
not.
something like it has to be like a certain certain number times the health.
It's the massive damage thing is 50 points of damage, which would have killed you like 10 times over.
Yeah,
But
I'd
yeah,
be
I
very,
wasn't
very
sure if it was
extremely
like
dead.
if you receive your full hit point, but no,
Oh, yeah.
you're good. You're good. Okay, so how many?
I'm
points
unconscious. I'm not
Well,
dead.
yeah. You were in the act of dying and bleeding out on the
Yes.
ground. But Cedric came over and gave you how many hit points?
4.
Marvelous.
So I'm just stabilized now, right? It's like
You're awake now. You're still on the
Okay.
ground, prone, but you are awake again.
So when Cedric heals you, the holy energy from Moradin is like it burns, right? Like it's like forge heat. So like the pain of your like wounds knitting together, like the second after Cedric, it it's like you get this adrenaline rush and you like as you come back to consciousness.
Does it burn like the water?
your healing
earlier?
like really
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah, it's really it's not fun at
Being
all.
healed by you sucks.
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
It's like people just be like, well, all we can do is cauterize your wounds.
Right.
And just, like,
He's giving you a brand.
Right.
Like,
It's like when they do the like shot of adrenaline into somebody's heart. Like he's just like
Yeah,
Like
we've
Pulp
all
Fiction.
seen Pulp
Oh,
Fiction.
shoot.
yeah.
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric says it feels like a hammer of healing delivered straight to the chest.
Exactly. You wake up with the wind knocked out of you.
All right, the red knoll is dead, so now it's Lucanus' turn.
All right, so now that Fletcher is now alive again, Lucanus can figure out how to move. He can actually flank the guy from right here, and he is going to swing with the intention of fucking him up. Or
Do
her,
it.
I don't know.
Do it.
Fucking them up.
Yeah, we don't question the knoll's gender identity.
Them, yeah.
Oh shit,
Oh shit.
I just got a 20.
Ooh.
Roll.
Woo! Roll once more.
Gotta get a 19 or 20.
Oh, 12.
On the die.
On the die, yeah.
A 12 plus 8 is 20. That still beats the knoll's armor class, so that is a critical hit.
What?
It is a critical hit.
Nice.
The confirm just needs to beat its armor class, yeah.
Alright, well, I got a 7 on damage.
Wow!
Oh my god.
Look, it's like breaks
So is that
through
21
the shrubs.
damage?
Yeah. Lucanus breaks through the shrubs and pops out the other side as Cedric and Fletcher are figuring out what to do with themselves, and he just swings with his great sword and just cuts right into like the side of the knoll, and this big chunk comes out, and it sort of like leans forward towards Fletcher and then just like crumples to the ground. Dead. Dead. All dead. Hey.
How much overkill was that?
Did you say 7 points of damage? Is the great sword is the great sword a ×2 or a ×3?
Great sword, it is ×2.
So then you overdid it by 9 points. Pretty good.
No
How many
kills,
hit
no
points?
kills.
Fletcher's health points. Or...
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I had 8.
Oh, yeah.
And then -1.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling. Good
How
feeling.
many hit points does the knoll have?
They have 2d8.
This is my first crit. I want to know like all of the stats.
They have 2d8 plus 2, so both of these had 14.
Oh.
14. Okay, so yeah, that's a lot.
Nice.
Yeah. No, you guys did great. That was
I
awesome.
actually hit the thing, if you
You
didn't
did.
notice.
You did great.
You did.
Everybody did
You
great.
did great. And you didn't...
I did not do great.
become mortally wounded, yeah. Fletcher, not so good, yeah.
The grease thing was really clever, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, not everybody gets to hit all the time. I will just send you guys what loot was on them so that we don't futz around with that right now. Does anybody have any last thoughts? I feel like right at the end of this combat is a good breaking point for us because we're a little past our time. But yeah, thanks to Eric and Veronica and War Yoshi for hanging out in the chat. Nancy wants to go eat her lasagna. Anybody in the cast have any thoughts or things?
I have some chicken wings to cook tonight.
Lots of cooking going on.
Because
in
it's
this
Super Bowl
group.
tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Enjoy
Which, yeah,
your
I didn't even remember
Enjoy
that
your
at
fish
all.
football
Yeah,
party.
I know.
enjoy your handbag watching, everyone.
Honestly,
Sportsball.
for me
Sportsball.
personally, Super Bowl is the day where I get to make the worst food in the world and love every second of it.
Fair enough.
I am making Cholula lime tequila hot wings.
Sounds great.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yay, superb owls.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in that case, I hope you all enjoyed the combat. Maybe you enjoyed the tension. I don't know. Whatever floats your boat. The reuniting of the party. Kay is back. Kay is back.
Yay.
Veronica says, Joe, please send plating photos. because apparently that's a thing now in this group, is that we talk about food and plating. Anyway, you can catch us right back here live on Twitch on February 15th. That's 2 Saturdays from now. We will be playing again. Who knows what the group will get up to now that they have defeated some gnolls on their way back through the grasslands after investigating the river. Who knows what they're going to get up to in New Sechester next. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.